and the music kicks in.
Yeah. What is going on, everybody? Hello and welcome to the program. Today is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2026, years after zero. I'm your host, as always, Tyler Shepardson, and you're joining us just in time for an episode of OTP Tuesday. That is right, we got a big one coming at you. Reached out to a couple guests, got a couple people declined. We were trying to get in the middle of everything that happened, and I think the main parties want to step out. But we might be joined by a special guest later on today, later on this evening. We don't know. We just got off the phone with a very special guest, and depending if they get home in time and get their phone charged, we'll determine whether or not we talk with someone else on this week's episode of OTP Tuesday. Obviously, we're presented by Yamaha Motors USA. We're going to talk about a Yamaha Grizzly here in a matter of moments. That I got to wrestle around that old gray track in Tennessee on Saturday, so we'll talk about that here in just a few. But big thanks to our friends down at Yamaha. Had a super cool experience with them the whole weekend through with the whole Grizzly experience. I am still feeling it. I can barely move my right shoulder. My right shoulder is in sorts. No, my thumb's all right. I do still have some forearm, some arm pump going on, but we're getting through it. Back pain, neck pain, but it's mainly the shoulder, man. It's just the angle. That thing had power steering. It was nice. But anyway, I digress. Big thanks to Yamaha USA for supporting the show, supporting the program, and helping us out. But yeah. Obviously, this past weekend, the Old Gray GNCC round number 6, it ended in a little bit of controversy. Gonna give you guys a spoiler alert. I know you're tuning in. I know you saw in our recap video that we were going to talk about it. We are going to address some of the things that happened. We are not going to harp on it. We're not going to go into extensive detail. Had a lot of thought. Us, Big Tom and Big Rig Craig are here. What's up, boys?
What's up?
The group chat was going off this morning. We were talking about it, trying to figure out how to address the situation. We were trying to line up people to bring them in to address the situation. And I basically came to the realization that nothing that we say or do is going to make anyone go, you know what? I didn't think about it like that. Let's go back and change it. The only thing that we stand to do is just piss people off and make people mad. So we're going to document it. We're going to talk about the facts. We're going to talk about what happened. Obviously, if you're watching the Racer TV broadcast, you saw Stu's comments there at the end of the race, the interview that he did. He was not very happy. He was not at the podium. And, yeah, a little bit of discrepancy coming down to the end, but in the end, it all sorts itself out, comes out in the wash. But, yeah, we'll get into that when we get into GNCC results. But thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. And, yeah, we'll get into the episode. Big Rig Craig, Big Tom, how's it going, man? Cinco de Mayo. We're going to go get tacos right after this. We already got an order coming in, getting dialed in. What's your day been like, boys?
We got the cervezas open.
Oh, yeah.
A couple bush lattes.
I offered them Modelo's. 'Tis the reason for the season, but
Model Zeros, cuz.
Tom's a Busch Light guy.
We're American. Don't have to drink that Mexican beer.
Modelo is the number one selling beer in America, boy.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
That's a fact. No, I'm good. I'm like you. I feel like I've been hit by a truck.
Yeah, and so wanted to bring that up too. Obviously, we posted on the story. You chased me around on the Grizzly on Saturday. I chased you around a little bit on the bike on Sunday. Back in the racing action, GNCC world, the Old Gray, man. How'd the race go? How you feeling?
I'm feeling like shit. Nah, it's not too bad. I think I've rode once since, when was that first North Carolina? March? 1st of March?
Yeah.
Like that?
First week
I've
March.
rode once since then. I think before then I've rode once or twice since the New Year. So Yeah, feeling it. I had a decent day.
I got a lot of Snapchats
Finished-
of you from other people.
Really?
A whole lot.
You almost got a real good start, then you almost had a real bad start.
Oh, I had to dodge that dude. Yeah, he decided to lay down right in front of me. No, I finished 10th in Sportsman A out of, I think there was 20 or 21, so not the greatest result, but
Better than 11th.
They won't give my man a plaque for it.
yeah, I did go ask for a plaque just because, but I guess I thought it was top half, but I guess it's top third. Oh well.
I got me a plaque. It's a little bit out of frame, but we'll tap this one into the memory banks right next to my 19th place plaque from Unadilla.
That's crazy,
My
ain't it?
5th place
Quad-
plaque from
quad tard.
my first earned quad plaque right here.
You mentioned the people at the trophy business. Like,
Giving out a
can
19th.
we get a 19th? What is this, T-ball?
Well, so
Man, I had that thing up there all nice and squared and perfect.
I ain't gonna lie, though. That plaque's pretty slick. Huh?
I do like the
Everything
plaque.
here is
Pretty sick.
still messing with me. So the Unadilla one, I think I talked about it on here before, but there were 76 people on my row, and I think I was in like 8th or 9th, and then coming into the finish line, took a turn, hit a rock, and kind of went head first into a hay bale, like Pez dispenser into a hay bale. Got separated from my bike. Literally, dude, Unadilla small track. There was like 900 people on that track. My bike was by the hay bale. I was on the other side of the track and literally had to wait for like 4.5, 5 minutes for just train a bike. Like I didn't have an opportunity to go across and get my
They
bike.
got brakes.
So by the time, yeah. I didn't jump out in front of him. But anyway, so yeah, 76 people and 19th place got me a plaque. So I figured that was one I'd hang on to.
I will say this about this past weekend. The damn
Good podcast
what?
this past weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Theo Vaughn. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the race went better than everything else did all weekend. It started out. We went to go hook up to the camper. The jack didn't work. And then started looking at the tires, realizing needed tires. Then, I don't know, we get on the other side of Knoxville. Sun goes down. Lights come on. I look at my rear view. Running lights on the camper wasn't working.
Dang.
And I was like, well,
Nice, Craig.
I am not stopping now. We're getting to the track. So sure enough, got out at the track. All to the back. Black. Pitch black. No lights. Well then, that was a fuse in the truck. Fixed that. Had running lights. Got everything hooked up. Realized for some reason the water heater wasn't working. So I took cold showers all weekend.
Oof.
And Saturday morning and Sunday morning were really cold showers. And then Saturday night, when it started to rain, the generator needed gas, filled it up with gas, cut it off to fill it up with gas so it didn't catch everything on fire. Went to go crank it back, generator wouldn't crank. So I had to tinker with it in the rain.
But the Cowie ran.
Cowie ran.
The 2022?
Three.
3? By
But
God.
I said there'd be at least one KH450 to finish, and I wasn't lying.
And we talked about last week using that last AT81 that you got. Craig said you had to use it somewhere. It looked like that thing was mounted up and hooking up out there.
Oh yeah, and it's still dialed. I didn't tear it up. Surprisingly, I guess I wasn't going fast enough. But
I've seen a lot of guys, even Stu's retire. I've seen Cody put a story up.
really,
His
wasn't
Pirelli
bad.
still look good.
Dude,
Back on.
the track was sick. I don't even have to wash my bike. It's not like
good
it
day.
looked, yeah,
Yeah.
and it wasn't dusty. Like I mean, the fields and stuff were dusty, yeah, but in the woods, dude, it was perfect. I loved it. I thought it was a fun track.
My race day experience was a little bit different than that one. Before we get too far ahead, though, we always like to give out T's and P's when things come up. So I do want to, before I forget and we get too far past it, T's and P's of Taylor Jones, dude. Taylor Jones is tough as nails.
Keep going.
And so during the race, I saw a mechanic ride her bike back to the tent, and I was like, oh, no, that's not good. And then got to talking to people, like asking around, seeing if she's all right. She was in the medical tent. She posted today that she broke her tib fib. But it looked
Definitely
like
tibia.
It looked
Oh,
like the
no.
top of the tib,
Yeah, it was bad.
like tibia plateau almost. But like the first clip or the first slide on it was like a video of her just sitting there, And
Cool as a cucumber.
yeah, I forget what she said.
She's like,
Oh, she said, "Oh, my leg, part of it moves and part of it doesn't." I don't know what's going on, but so yeah, to see the humor in that situation, but also just be sitting there with a tib fib, just hanging out in the woods after hitting a stump on the side of the trail. T's and
that
P's
shit
out
scares
to
me.
Taylor.
Man, there was a couple of those. So actually, first time I've ever done this, I pedaled the track Saturday at the Pro Four Wheelers, and I obviously didn't see the one that Taylor hit, but there was another one that was like,
I remember that one.
it was right after the 2 mile marker on that off camber on the right, and it was a log sticking out like right behind a tree, so you couldn't see it. And we're going through there, and Josh pulled the tree out to so you could see it. We tried to kick it, to get it off the track, and we ended up seeing Ryan Eccles and told him, where it was. It needed to be cut back, and first lap I was going through there and I was looking for it, and they cut that one back. But man, I got to thinking after I saw that with Taylor, like if Josh wouldn't have said something, that thing could have been sticking out too.
It would have got a bunch of people.
Yeah, very, because it was like on the bottom side of an off camber, like around the kind of the left hand corner. Just, I think those guys need to pay attention to some of that stuff. If they're, and I know they do, but man, and then seeing Taylor's post, I was like, damn, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like last year when she got hurt real bad at Ironman, hit a steel pole that was by the edge of the track, and now hits a tree that's by the edge of the track. Wow. It's just a bummer to see an injury like that happen, especially Taylor making a run back. Obviously, she retired before, then she comes back and having glimmers of grandeur, like getting some success, and then going back and forth, and then super bummed to see this one take her out. Speaking of removing trees, Ben Kelly, T's and P's out to Ben Kelly and his teammate Grant Davis as well. Didn't get an update on Grant Davis, but he was hauled out on a four-wheeler, kind of followed him out of the woods, talked to Bill, see if he was all right. So they were assessing some things at the time. So T's and P's out to Grant, and then T's and P's out to Ben Kelly. Sounds like he got shaken up quite a bit. One of the gnarliest crashes I've ever seen in person is right where a track crossing was, and I got there just a little bit too late. I think it was Craig DeLong coming by, so I was like, damn, I missed the leaders. I was like, let me keep going to my next spot. And then for whatever reason, I was like, let me just sit here for a minute and see who is where. As soon as I do that and stop right before the track, Ben's coming down, clips one tree, blows his hand off the bars, clips another tree on the other side, blows his hands off the bars. So now he's going, it's a straightaway. So he's probably going 30, 35 miles an hour, falling off the back of the bike, dude. Bike goes flying, cartwheeling, hits a tree, takes a big chunk out of a giant tree, and then lands upside down next to it. And Ben flying through the air hits it. Dude, this tree, it had to have been at least a 4-inch diameter. Like it wasn't a twig. It was a tree. And he hit it with his side and hit it so hard, it knocked the tree down. It took the roots out of the ground. So, like, the root ball came out of the ground where Ben Kelly's body went into this tree. And the first thing he says when we get over there is, he's talking about his ribs. I think Dirt Pics actually posted an Insta360 video of it, which I hope he okayed that first, hopefully.
Kind of thought the same thing.
I'm about to go look right now. I ain't seen him.
But it was pretty cool to see. I mean, you were there and saw it, but I mean, not cool, obviously, because Ben crashed. But I heard you talk about it, and I was like, damn, I would have seen all that kind of go down, but not in a bad way. You know what I mean? That don't sound the best, but I don't know.
It was gnarly. And same thing, dude. If he would have ended up 4 foot farther down the trail and hit that big tree that his bike hit, this would have been a way worse situation.
It's
but
gone.
I mean, Ben to it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ben, to his credit, sits there, and I was like, "Hey, what is hurting? Like, what do we need to assess right now? What's hurting?" And he's like, it's my ribs on the left side. I can feel them like cracking and grinding. I was like, "Damn, dude." But then Timmy, the team manager for KTM, gets there eventually, and Ben, the first thing out of his mouth is, "I can still ride. Just give me a minute." And it's like, we've seen the video of him when he broke his leg, just same thing, chill as a cucumber, just hanging out. And then in this situation, right after it happened, the only thing he's sitting there thinking about is getting back on the bike and riding. And he was like, if I can get top 20, I'll still go. But, yeah, he ended up getting on his bike and riding out to the pits. But, yeah, definitely not a good situation watching it. But the way that it looked versus what it seems the injuries are based off of his post, I think he got away with one there. But bummer to see him go down, obviously in contention for that third XC1 championship. And hate to see it kind of – it's not derailed. It's not over. His post said he's still going to try to ride at Powerline Park, so we'll see what happens. But obviously putting a blank up on the scorecard when we talk every week about how important that is, definitely bummer to see. But glad he's mostly on the mend and that he lived to fight another day.
Yeah, and something that was in that video was pretty cool. You heard Timmy tell him, was like, dude, like, if you can't ride or, you know, if you can't finish, then just go take it back to the rig. Like, you're good. Your health is more important.
Yeah.
Kind of said something along those lines. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But.
So, yeah, T's and P's out to them. But, yeah, this past weekend, I got to experience
good show. That's a good show.
What?
This past weekend.
Oh.
It's a good podcast.
I got to experience a 4x4 quad. We talked about it earlier in the year. I think originally it was mentioned for Talladega. And then they ended up having somebody else ride it there. But then they got back up with me, and they're like, hey, we're going to put you on one at the Old Gray. And I was like, absolutely, I'll go ride a 4x4 four-wheeler, see what it's all about. So show up, get acclimated with the machine, figure it out, see it all. And, dude, that thing is loud. That thing is gnarly. That thing is quick. And luckily, I'm glad it kind of didn't work out at Talladega because this was the first race that they had BNR-built Fox racing suspension on that thing. Yeah. So I think I would be moving around a lot slower if that was stock suspension.
So, honestly, I was expecting it to be a completely stock four-wheeler. That thing had a pipe on it. I guess, do they come with racks or they take the racks off of them?
Yeah, you got to take the racks off.
So the racks are off. The damn
skid plate,
axle guards, damn chrome beadlock wheels, mud graps.
700?
An exhaust, yeah.
Dude.
They had
that thing was
like
I want to race it so bad.
A higher steering stem with flex bars.
Yeah. T-Shep didn't run his lights though.
What a piece of shit, dude.
There was a guy.
That's a hazard.
There was a guy in front of you that was in your class that was riding a completely stock like Polaris Can-Am thing.
The camo one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And dude, he's riding around like just it just looks like he was on a Sunday cruise, and I'm like,
look like Tyler Bruton.
No,
like a
this dude looked like he was an old man riding around the farm.
He's just laying it down.
But he was a younger kid. And I was like, damn, T-Shep, like, you got to get past this guy.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know.
Yeah, eventually did. Yeah. So, yeah. First of all, that thing, it honestly, it handled really good because I've never ridden a quad that had suspension on it. Like, when I raced the YFZ 450 at Camp Coker in, like, 2018, same thing. It was a bone stock one. And, yeah, that was a whole different experience. But this one, I've never ridden a quad. So my experience of quad, especially utility quads, is like getting jarred around, getting jostled around. Like you see a bump, you hit it, you almost get thrown off the thing. That Grizzly, it got to the point where there'd be a spot where there's a log down on one side of the trail but not the other. And obviously rocks and boulders everywhere. But it got to the point where, like, I would see those things and stay on the gas, and it would just soak it right up. Like, wouldn't jar the bars, wouldn't throw you off of it.
Yeah.
Like, I was thoroughly impressed at how well that thing handled, like how planted it was. Same thing like some of those rock gardens and like rock sections, especially going uphill. It's like you give it a thumbful and just hope for the best. And yeah, dude, and that thing just and just makes it right. So from the experience of riding on it, like expectations versus reality, it blew it out of the water for me at how planted and how good it felt. And even they had different foot pegs on it. So I'd tuck my heels in there and put my feet on the edge of the foot pegs. Like the foot pegs come up and out like that, so you can kind of lock your feet into it. And there were some times I felt like I was ripping. I found out afterwards I was not ripping.
Nah.
Um,
No, you weren't.
a couple times. Felt like I was going pretty good though. But no, like I just. And then, well, there was one time I was like backing it into corners and like drifting coming out of corners. I was like, dude, did I just like unlock a new level? Turned out I hit the 4-wheel drive button, knocked it into 2-wheel drive. So that's why I was sliding. Made it way more fun. I thought I was doing something there for a little bit. But,
Dude, I want to race one. Bad.
dude, it was a fun experience. And for me, like, I have rotator cuff issues and the bars were high. And so it's like reaching out and having my arm at that angle, it just started dying on my shoulder. And I was like, damn, dude, I hope I can make it. But eventually it went away. But then, yeah, I did the first lap. It took like
shoulder pump
40 minutes. And I was like, man, I think I've had enough. Like, I think I've seen it. I've done it. It's like, dude, I got to do another one. Hopefully I'll get lapped and come around and see checkered flag. So I do the second lap, and the whole time in the second lap, I'm like, this is the last one. Like, there's no way
You only
I can
did 2
do another
laps?
one. No. But I was telling myself that I was pulling off. I saw Minnie in the woods, and I told her, I was like, I'm pulling off after this one. And then I got to the finish line, and Ricky Towers standing there with a white flag, and he says, I need one more out of you, Tyler. And I go over there, and I stop just past the finish line, and I'm like thinking about life. And I was like, man, if I do another lap, dude, I'm gonna be worthless tomorrow. Like, I'm not
man's
gonna be able to do
factory for a day, and he's like,
my neck was hurting, my back was hurting.
My neck.
I was like,
My
dude,
back.
I'm not gonna be worth a damn tomorrow. And then I was sitting there and I was like, dude, Yamaha didn't give me this opportunity for me to pull off early. And I said,
Hell
and
no,
I
they
don't
didn't.
want to go on the show on Tuesday and say that I damn quit the race. So 2 weekends ago, we flew to Talladega. We braved the storm. We got through it. Saturday, I was like, we're getting through this. We're finishing it. We're seeing it out. So I did my last lap. Felt pretty good the last lap.
I didn't know y'all
got
flew
rolling
through
a
a
little bit.
storm.
there was zero storm. There was zero storm. Everybody. With my convertible airplane. No storm.
Convertible airplane.
I call it a convertible because it's only good in day and nice weather because you can't fly it in instrument conditions.
Yeah.
So I call it the convertible.
But anyway, so yeah, I don't think I have a professional 4x4 quad career coming down the pipeline. Because, dude, after riding that sport quad, I was like, dude, this is hard. Like, I don't know how these people do this. But I was always looking at those 4x4s. I was like, dude, if I was on a 4x4, you couldn't stop me, dude. You couldn't stop.
I have never rode I've never rode a racing 4-wheeler. I've never rode anything. Probably 5 times in my life, sat on a 4-wheeler and took off on it. I still feel like I could go out there and lay it down. Just me. I feel like I could.
Maybe, like I said, dude, there are some times where I felt like I was really getting after it. Like I was battling with this one person. So one thing that I tried to do is stay out of everybody's way. So it's like, I'm not racing for anything. And these people are out here racing for something, so it's like I'm gonna get out of the way. So anytime someone was coming up behind me, I would find the quickest place to pull off, and I'd jump right back in behind him. Well, I was like, this one person was holding me up, and I'm like sitting there like on their tail,
check him out.
On whose tail?
on their tail, and so I'm sitting there, and it's like, get out of the way. Well, then 2 fast people come up. I think it was when we were getting lapped, and we both pull off to the side. And then 2 people go by, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to use this. Like, they're going to let me by. So I go back out. They turn around, look straight at me, pull right out in front of me. And I was like, oh, hell no.
Run that bitch
And so
over,
then I kept
Tyler.
trying to.
You have 4-wheel drive, dude.
And it had a bumper on the front. You could have down.
But yeah, so then I was like, all right, I got to stay
He's
as
married,
close as
he
possible. Let them over here. But then moved over, and I got by, and was like, all right, now I got to drop them or I'm going to feel like an asshole. So then that was like my moment of fame right there. It got a good one going. But anyway,
That was the moment of fame.
Yep, trying to drop him and get away from him. But so yeah, dude, I had a blast. It really was a lot of fun. And like I said, that thing handled way better than I thought it was going to, especially on such a rocky track. But we made it work. We made it happen. I got 5th place out of 8 in my class, which got me a plaque. But dude,
How does that make sense?
I don't know. Maybe it's top 5 and then up to. Anyway, so when I was sitting there, I was like, dude, surely in the AM quad race, I have to be 50% or better. Like, I have to get halfway. That was my goal, halfway. Like, if there's 200, I need to be 100. I thought that was completely doable. I think 142nd out of like 200. So didn't pass many people. I think everyone I did pass had 3 wheels and they were sitting on the side of the track. But either way, it was an experience. We had a good time.
I want to do it. I want somehow.
We ought to buy some $1,000 blasters.
Dude,
200 blasters and go out there and just let it eat.
Nah, Honda Recons.
No, dude.
Yeah.
That's gay.
You
Honda
do it.
or Yamaha blasters. 202 strokes.
Yamaha Grizzlies, what you
Or
need.
Grizzlies.
Or
Well,
they got
we can afford $1,000 blasters.
I want you to somehow get this set up for me because I want to do it.
I'll see what I can do.
You left me out of Talladega. You left me out of. There's something else.
There's a time going to the track where it's like I might have to tag Tom in. I don't know if I can do it, dude. My neck's.
It was such a smooth
honestly,
ride.
dude, my neck and like the compressed vertebrae in my back, like that's what I was mostly worried about. But ever since, like from the moment after the race all the way up until now, it's like my muscles hurt. Like,
Yeah, because you worked out.
yeah, but well, that's to be expected. But none of like the bone pain wasn't there. Like I thought it was gonna make the bone pain worse. So I'm fine with muscle pain. Muscle pain goes away.
Yeah.
But
So-
I was
so what you're saying
worried
is
that thing
you're
was
good.
gonna wreck my neck. What?
So you're good.
Yeah.
So time to start riding dirt bikes again.
Tom started riding dirt bikes.
The
And
ones you got
so
in your garage.
this is what I also didn't realize, dude. I went to go sign up and gave him my AMA number, and Miss Lynn was like, "Is this still active?" And I was like, "I renewed it at some point, but I don't know." She looked at it. She said, "Tyler, this hasn't been active since 2021." I said, "Has it been that long?" So, yeah, to your guys' point, did a 2-hour race, dealt with the soreness, good to go, body
getting
held
called
up.
out.
I got my AMA membership lined back up. I'm ready to go race some bikes.
Sorry, dude. Quads are gay. I forgot. My bad.
Stop saying that, please.
Did I get the right podcast?
But anyway, so that is our Yamaha quad experience. So big thanks to Yamaha, like I said, for being a part of the show, and then for lining up opportunities like that, like the press day stuff, the trail ride stuff. I think we're going to do some Tenere stuff, some WR 125 stuff coming up this year. But for them to let me cross over to the 4-wheel side of things, it was a super cool experience, and super appreciative that they had me out to do that, and super appreciative that there's so many people in this live chat that listen to this much quad talk. Everyone kept asking me, do I have a new respect for quad riders? No, like I've always had respect for quad riders. Like to do what they do, especially on the sport quads, I don't understand. Like I knew how gnarly they were. This doesn't make me appreciate that anymore. It just makes me realize that is not for
that
me.
you can't do it.
That I can't do it, and it's not for me. But
I don't know how they can afford it,
kudos
dude.
to
Building
them.
a race quad's like $40,000.
Well, Walker Fowler's got one for sale.
I bet he
built.
does.
Just, all it needs
40
is
G's?
a dry brake and run flat tires is what he said. Everything else,
Yeah.
he'd take it to the line, 19.5.
Yeah,
Not
I saw
bad.
that. But I was sitting there looking. I was like, dude, what is on that thing? But there's probably so much stuff on there that
Oh, a ton.
don't even know about. Things you got to do to them quads to get them ready to go racing.
Yeah.
So I was talking to the Yamaha marketing guy, the Scott Newby. He raced with me. He got 4th.
Shit
I got
on you.
5th. Yeah, but
Dang.
he was like 15 minutes ahead of me.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you.
But only one spot.
It was pretty rough looking for a little while. Which I had to go. I left and had to go get that fuse for the truck. So I left kind of in the middle of it.
Dude, that whole first lap, man, I couldn't. Same thing. I don't know if it's something that I got going on or I can't do right, but I could not. When I raced the sport quad and when I raced this quad, I could not keep my thumb on the throttle. I couldn't hold the grip and hit the throttle. I have to put my fingers on the grip and hit the throttle. But then my whole forearm went numb. I didn't get thumb pump. I got like my whole forearm quit. So like I couldn't. I was going around right-handers, reaching around, hitting it with my pulling it with my. So I don't. Maybe a jet ski throttle. I don't want a twist throttle, especially on a 4x4 with no clutch. Maybe a jet ski throttle is the way to go.
I wish I'd been prepped. My dad gave me like a 1988 Polaris 250 over the weekend. God, if I could have had that thing ready, been out there tracking him down, 5 minutes off him. All the forearm pump.
Anyway, that's enough about 4-wheelers. Let's talk about damn 2-wheel shit.
It was a good time. We just lost 20 viewers right then. So now let's move on to your regularly scheduled program, and that's where we talk about all things off-road dirt bike racing. We're going to dig up some results here courtesy of Dimmer's Precision Grading each and every week. They help us dig up results from around the country. This time we're going to Tennessee, and right here in our backyard in North Carolina, the Battle of the Goats happened this past weekend. Haven't been to Battle of the Goats since I raced it on a KDX, and it seems like there's always a race somewhere else going on outside of it. So obviously wasn't able to be there, but we'll check in with those results, and then we'll talk about the Old Gray GNCC, round number 6 of the series. But DPG is a full-service grading company in the greater Carolina region. No job too big or small. They do commercial work, residential work, anything in between. Grading, excavating, laying sanitary sewer. That's what you can't say pipe or drainage. It's sanitary sewer. Learn that. But yeah, all sorts of stuff. Hit them up, dimmersprecisiongrading.com. Also, DPG MX Compound. They take care of their own track right there on their property. It's a pretty sick place. They have some practice days coming up, but they help us dig up some results. We're going to start out here in North Carolina, the Battle of the Goats. I don't know who won Sunday or Saturday for amateur day, but Ethan Harwell got second place overall at Battle of the Goats on Saturday, which I thought was pretty sick. And then, yeah.
In B class.
But it was the amateur race.
Yeah.
But, yeah, overall for the amateur race.
Yeah.
I thought some of the pros race on Saturday, too.
I don't know.
It works better when you have the microphone on.
I got
Yeah, you pulled up.
So-
You had 2 pulled up here, but I pulled this one up as well because the first one you had pulled up was 45 minutes total.
Oh.
And this race shows all of the checks, I believe, from the day. So I believe this is the one. I think there's results up from Saturday. Maybe they did a qualifying race. I think that's also up here. But this is
maybe.
Sunday's.
That other one was like the whole race report. But, yeah, I didn't double-check it. But, anyway, thanks for catching that. Now we got it pulled up here. But, yeah, Ethan Harwell, I just thought that was sick. Like, obviously, we've talked about both the Harwell brothers on here quite a bit for how fast they are and the things that they've been able to do. That a lot of them are first, like youngest to do this or first to win 3 overalls in one day at Mid-East. So, yeah, saw that he got second overall. I was like, holy crap, like how did he do that? And then I'm walking around on the starting line on Sunday, and who comes walking up the starting line? Ethan Harwell. I was like, dude, didn't you just like get second place at Battle of the Goats yesterday? He's like, yeah, I did. And we talked about it a little bit, and he drove up to Tennessee and raced Tennessee, got second place in 4-stroke A lights on Sunday as well. So
What's even more impressive is he's not super tall.
no.
In the videos I've seen from him Sunday, he was like bobbing and weaving through the rocks. But if he had to bobble, he was like hanging off the side of the bike to dab his foot.
Yeah.
But he was just, he just kind of bulldozed his way. The videos I've seen, he looked awesome. Because I think Noah Stevens also raced, and that's who I seen all these clips from.
Yeah.
And he was like drinking beer on the side of the trail, screaming for him. Those were the videos that I had seen from. So yeah, it's pretty badass to be able to do that and then go race Sunday and hold on to a second. That's because that is a terrible. It's very hard to race one of these races.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you've raced one, I've raced one. It's not, especially if you're not in shape like myself.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, I blew my heart rate up to the point where I couldn't get it to calm back down when I was racing, so I just pulled off and went and laid in a river for a little bit. They're tough, dude, especially Battle of the Goats. Like, we've talked about it before, like the year that Sipes won it, he said it was harder than Erzberg. Like,
Yeah.
Battle of the Goats, the Brushy Mountain property, they can make it as tough and as challenging as they want. I think one year they had 2 people finish. Like, they've kind of mixed around with finding that level of rideability and can still finish.
yeah.
So, yeah, looked like a good weekend of racing out there for them. Tristan Hart on Sunday, the main event for the pro riders, took the win because that's what Tristan Hart does. He's got that number 1 plate on his bike, and he goes out there and gets it done on his factory KTM. Ryder LeBlanc on his Rockstar Energy Husk Varna goes out, gets the number 2 spot overall on the day. And then Cody Webb aboard his Yamaha. He wins the Pro 4-stroke class, 3rd place overall on his YZ250FX, which coincidentally is the bike that I have. So set that thing up for hard enduro. If Cody Webb can do it, I'm sure I can do it. Just kidding. Cody Webb is 8'12", and I would say one of the GOATs, figuratively and literally. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean. Mountain goat. He can climb rocks on dirt bikes. greatest of all time, hardened. You know what I mean. Anyway, we digress. Brandon Petrie in the number 4 spot. Ryder Guest rounding out the top 5. Dang, dude, we missed an opportunity to go out there and meet our 8th place rider, Kamakana Waiole Kahalapuna.
He's at Josh's right now.
He was out here. Oh, is he?
They've been saying to Josh's all week.
Oh, dude. I want to go meet him and just see
Shoot
how
a text.
close we
All you
are
gotta do is shoot a text.
to saying his name right.
Kamakana Wahe
Hey.
Alapuna Kahapina.
I do want to say, too, Max
Was that close?
Dupree, he's on the – I don't know what – okay, so it's a Suron. When people see him in the pits on that thing, they think it's kind of a joke. You see his videos. I've seen his videos. We all have. It's a badass machine. Watching him go through the rock guards and stuff on that bike is crazy.
Did you go up
climbing
there?
the Pro Hill? Yeah, me and my dad went Sunday.
Thought you were going to race North Carolina.
I rode that 125 Saturday and sold it immediately because I hated it. So we're keeping a 450. But anyway, it's just honorable mention. Watching what he can do on that Suron is pretty crazy. Like even the Pro Hill that was right beside.
He was on a Suron. I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other one.
No, he was on a Suron, and this thing, it's there was a big Pro Hill that the pro option for Winsel's Waterfall. Pros had to hit it. He zipped right up it, and it's pretty gnarly to watch.
I've seen a lot of people eat it on that.
That waterfall looks sketchy.
Yeah.
I seen just 2 guys this year fall off. I think one boy was on like a 250 SX with a big tank, and it lit up halfway, and he slid all the way down.
5 Moto X says it's not a Suron. You stupid idiot. That's what he said.
Well, his sponsors are Suron, Cirrus, Motor X, and Warp 9. So Suron has something to do with it.
Wonder why he's sponsored by
dill pickle.
Motor X.
Seems like it'd be on a Suron.
There's no oil.
Yeah, it's none of my business, but
I guess there's a little bit.
he said
of
it's
oil.
not a Suron. It might not be, but they sponsor him. So shout out.
It's an electric bike. But yeah, so that was Battle of the Goats. And now we'll move into the GNCC that happened in Monterey, Tennessee. The local boy gets it done. He takes the win. Jordan Ashburn on the number 3. Now the sole points leader in the XC1 and the overall. He will have the white plates going forward. That did get brought up on the broadcast. Jared Bolton, since he's hurt with a broken humerus, was in the booth, and they talked about why he was running a white plate, and they basically chalked it up to a clerical error,
What'd they
and
say?
that
What'd
he
he
shouldn't
say?
have been running it.
Yeah.
What?
What'd he say? Why he was running it?
They said that they talked to him about it and just said that it basically, I don't think he said clerical error, but he said something to that effect. Basically made it seem like they were looking at XC1 points, and then they were told, hey, XC1 points don't matter. XC1's based off the overall.
Well,
Is what it sounded like.
because there was a mistake. So when Freddie first posted those white plates, I went and looked at the results when we sent it in the group, or the points. And the overall points and the XC1 points were different, right? They were different points.
Yeah.
Because Ben and Jordan were tied in XC1 points, and the overall, I think Jordan was
Down 3.
three back. Yeah. Well, if you go look at them now, the overall points and the XC1 points are the same. So like whatever.
They probably changed it because of this.
Well, I think that's how it was supposed to be, and there was a mistake.
Well, no, because every year they still track the XC1 points. Because same thing like Stu being the 23 XC1 champion. Like, they still track the XC1 points. And then, remember, because last year we were talking about the whole discrepancy in XC1. And then basically after the last race, then they go in and change the XC1 points to match the overall points.
Well,
but throughout
now
the year, it
now
adds
they
up.
match.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they didn't match before. Which I think they pulled up XC1 points, saw he was tied, put the white plate on. And so that's probably why it was changed internally on their system, because Jordan showed up with white plates. But we mentioned last week when we talked about it, he can go out there and earn them. And that's exactly what he did. Now he's got a comfortable points lead as they head into round number 7 in Ohio in a couple of weeks. But Jordan Ashburn takes the win. Stu Baylor in the number 2 spot scored officially. Now, should we go through all the results, or should we talk about this?
Yeah, let's go through the results.
All right. we'll get to the debacle. But, yeah, that is what happened. Kailub Russell makes his return back to the podium. We've seen Kailub Russell take a couple of rounds off this year, healing up a knee injury. He's been back for just a couple of rounds again, and what a good day. And he ends up back on the podium, battling back and forth with Craig DeLong for that final podium spot, and really not far off of Jordan and Stu.
No, those four were close.
Yeah.
All day. Like,
Yeah.
I looked at somebody at one point and I was like, this is going to get good.
Can you scroll over just a little bit? 2 fingers, just slide it over. Craig. So, finishing times, obviously, Jordan and Stu came through together. 2:42.29, and then Kailub clocks in 2:42.41. So, 11 seconds back, 12 seconds back, and then Craig DeLong right behind him.
It was a lot closer. It felt a lot closer than that throughout the race. Like, it almost felt like all four of them were wheel to wheel.
Yeah. And Mike Wachowski putting up a good fight, having a good run of his own. He gets a top 5 for his efforts. Jason Tino, we talked to him, dude. It's the OTP bump. The man hasn't lost since he's been on the show. Went up to him after the race, said, dude, you just can't lose a race if you tried. 3 in a row now for Jason Tino. He kicked it off at the Farm 14 ANEC where he got his first Pro 2 win there. He goes to – where did we race last? The Duke in Kentucky, gets his first XC2 class win, and then he backs it up and he gets another one, 2 straight in the GNCC series for Jason Tino, getting it done. Liam Draper, 7th. Gus Reardon back on the podium, 2nd place finish for him in that XC2 class, 8th place overall. Jack Walker would settle for 3rd place on the XC2 podium, 9th place overall, but Jack was ripping this weekend. I think at one point he was 2nd overall, 1st overall.
Yeah, he was. After the first lap, he was 1st overall. 2nd lap, he fell back to 2nd. After the 3rd lap, he was back in the overall, which we don't see that happen much. Most of the time,
once you drop out,
you
go backwards.
Just fall. Like XC1 kind of takes it back over. But like he jumped back up there.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. He was ripping,
dude, and he was riding a completely different track than everybody else. Like, you can probably see it if you go back and watch our old gray highlights, but just seeing it in person, like, he was taking different lines than everyone. And I don't know if that's because out of necessity of the 2-stroke or if he finds he rides it better if he can carry momentum. Like, a lot of times he's, like, going out wide and squaring it up and cutting in or just taking some lines. Like, the first few times around, people were jumping out of the way where he was going where people were standing because he already had these lines picked out. But, just completely riding a different track than everybody else. And Jack Walker, he was on it this past weekend. So, ended up having some brake issues from what I understand.
Is that what it was?
I think it was brake issues. Yeah, he lost his brakes.
Oh.
So I don't know if they replaced them. I don't know what they did, but
lost his brakes,
or
still
if he
top
just
10 overall.
rode the rest of it without him. But yeah, you saw him drop back a little bit there, but still hung it in there for 3rd place overall. He was disappointed about it. Talked to him at the finish line. He's like, dude, losing your brakes, the way you were ripping to still get some solid points in 3rd. And he was pretty upset with 3rd. I think it was his day to go out there and win, and unfortunately lost his brakes and goes back to the number 3 spot, but still on the box, still with a podium finish and plugging away at that XC2 points lead.
He's still the points leader.
I would imagine he has to be.
He is, yeah.
So, yeah, shout out Jack Walker. He also passed the boss man, Josh Strang, 38 years young, 10th place overall for Josh Strang. One spot they came by, and Jack was, like, all over his rear tire, and I was like, Jack's about to pass Strang. And then next time I saw him, he was in front of Strang, and I think he was in front of him for 2 or 3 camera shots that I saw him at. But that's got to be a good feeling for both of them. You know what I mean? Like Jack Walker to catch and pass the boss, but then it's also got to be comforting for Josh to know that the kid they hired for XC2 is chasing him down on the track and passing him when Strang's been having a good season and riding in the top 10, and then the 2-stroke comes up and at him.
Yeah, it's nice to see this 2-stroke up front too. It's nice to hear it again.
No, it is sick. And Josh has told me a couple times, he was like, dude, Jack came up on me, and and this was not just this weekend, but I think even at the Duke, he was like, I thought I was riding good, like, cause I know I was riding good, like I felt good, and was going good. He said, and Jack came up on me, I was like, holy shit, he's rolling.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty cool seeing, like Craig said, dude. It's sick to see a two-stroke running up front in that XC2 class.
It's been 10 years.
We got a comment in here. Colin Johnson says Jack had to pit 3 times and lost rear brakes
They were pitting
every other lap.
every 2 laps.
Yeah. Yeah, and I knew that was the pit strategy. Same thing like Florida. He's got to pit every other lap. Well, it was on the 125. I don't know if he did it on the 250.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did. So, yeah, one drawback of the two-stroke is burns a little bit more fuel. But, yeah, 3 pit stops and losing back brakes and still on the box.
Man,
I think it's looking like a good year for Jack.
They've got them pit stops dialed, though.
Yeah.
I helped out on pit stops this weekend.
Did you?
Yeah. I was standing over there making my way back to the camper, get loaded up, get out of there, and stand there, and Kai handed me a
Goggles.
thermometer, like the one you shoot. He's like, shoot this on the shock body and tell me the temperature. He said, do it on him and Josh. I was like,
Is this proprietary information? You're supposed to be talking about
no, well, I don't know. They didn't tell me not to. Josh posted a video of it.
this? Oh, okay.
So I hit the shock. I turn around. Here comes Josh. I was like, oh, shit. Ran back there. Hit his shock.
Did you forget what the first reading was?
No. I had it. But I don't know what they was doing it for. Got no idea. But
Oh. Guess see how much that thing's bouncing, how much heat it's generating. But yeah, so good ride out of the Beta boys, both in the top 10. Obviously missing Cody Barnes. Still T's and P's out to him. Toby Cleveland put on a good ride with no front number plate. Ryder Lafferty up there in the mix. Grant Baylor.
was it Toby Cleveland or Gavin that didn't have front number plate?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Gavin.
No, both of them.
Oh, they both lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like Gavin loses his every weekend.
Yeah. Toby was in pink gear because Mindy was out helping take photos. Bunch of really good photos. She posted them on her Hello
Yeah.
Mindy photos thing.
She get in me?
I have to ask.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't think so because she was standing next to me and old Lee out there. But yeah, so she was asking. I was like, we need the Red Bear boys, we need the Racecraft boys, and I was like, Brody's on a Husqvarna 235. And she kept asking me questions like, what was the number again? What was the number again? I said, it's the only Husqvarna that has a front number plate. In the XC2 class. Because, yeah, Toby and Gavin were both missing theirs. Down in the top amateur side of things, taking the win on the day, Hunter Smith on the 9.50. Not the 950, the 9.50. He takes the 250A win and the top AM honors on the weekend. Great ride by him. I mean, it was a pretty dominant ride by him in the 250A class. And we talked about him. He has been on that amateur overall podium. He had 2 straight coming into it. I think 2 seconds, or no, a win and a second. And he goes out there and takes the win and top AM honors this weekend. And then I think our second amateur was Braden Baisley.
Ryan. It'd be Ryan Piper.
Oh, it was Piper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then
Shout out Ryan Piper. Ryan Piper, second place 250A and second place top amateur on the day. And then Braden Baisley on that Yamaha support ride wins the 4-stroke A lights class, puts that thing on the top AM box.
Was he Super Mini last year?
No.
2 years ago?
Think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was the one that I don't want to say clean the kid out, but at the finish line at one of the races, he had a pass for the win, and it went viral for a little bit.
That happened this weekend in the Super Mini race.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
is it?
I'm pretty sure it was on Racer TV because they videoed the Super Mini, but there was an inside line coming to the finish, and some dude just came in there and cleaned the other kid out at the finish. Like, literally
Well, I think
10 feet in front of
when
Ricky.
Braden did it, that they took the win from him. Like I think it
I
became this whole
remember
big
that.
contention thing, and they took the win from him. I think it was at the Old Gray too, if I'm
Really?
not mistaken.
Oh.
Because he's from Tennessee, also, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
That
shout
would
out
be the
to
last time they
'cause
took a win from somebody.
he's ripping. Who? Braden Baisley?
GNCC.
Oh, well. In the WXC class, Brandy Richards goes out there and gets the win over Danielle McDonald. 20 seconds was the gap between Brandy Richards and Danielle McDonald. They were swapping back and forth throughout the race. Corey Steed would round out the overall podium in the WXC class with a third-place finish. So back to why I think there's so many people tuning in. We got to talk about it. We got to address it. We gave a preface at the beginning of the show. We're not going to harp on it. We're not going to dig into it, but we got to address the situation. When they come through the finish line, Jordan Ashburn had regained the overall lead. Hometown boy, Chase Landers told us he lives 15 minutes away from the track when we talked to Chase Landers a couple weeks ago. And the hometown crowd was out and about for Jordan Ashburn this weekend. He already does good at technical tracks. He is a guy that can go out and compete with factory hard enduro riders at hard enduro. He's a guy that can go compete and win an XC1 championship against factory GNCC racers, and now he has put himself in a prime position to maybe look at being the second repeat champion in the last 20 years at GNCC.
He's having a good year for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too, like he's 35 years old and he has gained momentum. Mm-hmm. Like he is a better rider now than he was at 30 years old. From a public perspective, I don't know if he would share the same sentiment, but obviously since he was 30, he won an XC1 title, and now he's winning 2 races in a row, and he's got the points lead. Not slowing him down. But, yeah, the hometown crowd was out and about cheering for Jordan Ashburn. Stu Baylor comes through in the number 2 spot. As soon as they come through the finish line, Stu's pointing, wagging his finger. Blake, who is in the chat with us, I'm sure that he'll chime in on some of this too, basically says the same thing. So, long story short, from everything that happened, there was a line where banner had been torn down. So it was a section that had rope and ribbon across it. There was a banner down, and the pass for the lead was made in this section. So reached out, talked to officials that were close to the situation, talked to people that were involved in the situation. I guess the best way to put it is that the line was caught on video and the banner was down, but Jordan Ashburn did not cut through the banner. The banner was down, and there's a video of him going through it. But that same section ended up getting rerouted by race officials that would have made that line legal. So from what I heard, it was safety concerns why they rerouted it, but the banner was tied back up, but it was outside of where Jordan Ashburn went, effectively making that a legal race line in the race. So even though there was banner there wasn't banner there when he went through it. It was on the ground, and I believe that was the deciding factor of the result standing as called on the racetrack. Stu Baylor, obviously we heard his comments in the Racer TV interview. He said he rode a winning race, he rode an honest race, and said something to the effect of, this is going to be crazy if they take this win. Or if they don't give me this win or take his win. Something to that effect. You know what I mean? So I guess the best thing I can say about it is at the finish line, I think I gave my opinions on this before. Like my dirt bike videos, I'm happy that everyone likes them. I'm happy that people like the raw videos and enjoy watching those. To me, you can watch anybody ride a dirt bike. We've seen them all ride dirt bikes, and yeah, it's interesting. But for me, of the videos, I think the finish line parts are the most interesting. Like to me, as a consumer, I like to hear the post-race stuff, and that's why I'm always at the finish line with a camera, getting the conversations, getting people coming off, like capturing Jack's first pro win, capturing Tino's first pro win. Like those kind of moments, I think, are what makes the videos. I had to take off a lot of that stuff this past weekend, and I think both sides of this got very heated. There was a lot of stuff said. There was a lot of accusations made. There was a lot of back and forth. And kind of like I said at the beginning of the show, obviously we got to talk about it. Obviously it's the news. Obviously it's what happened. But there's nothing to be gained. The ruling came down. It's final. And so a lot of that stuff, and there was people that were involved in it that actually came up to me at the podium and was like, hey, if you don't mind, could you not put me in there yelling like I was yelling? And like when people directly asked me that, I was like, damn it. It's like I was planning on putting it in there, but now I can't. But yeah, so that's why I kind of cut out a lot of that because they had the they had
also told to stop filming.
Yeah, I was also told to stop filming. They had it out.
dumb.
They talked about it. Both sides presented their information. Both sides presented their case. The officials ruled on it. That's the end of it. And so putting in there what was said or talking about what was said is not going to do any good for anyone. It's just going to make me be the bad guy once again for reporting the news. And so, that's the best way to go about it. I know that the Stu Baylor camp, obviously very close to that situation. They are not happy about it at all. But I think the key sentiment is like, I'm a big fan of Jordan Ashburn. He's one of the nicest guys you can meet. I like his dad a lot. Talked with Mary pretty much every race. Really like the Ashburn family. I don't think, actually, it's not that I don't think. Jordan Ashburn is not a cheater. It's not like he cut off a 50-foot section of the track. It was a line that was maybe a foot outside of the main race line that just happened to have banners on it that weren't there when he went by it. So the biggest sentiment through this whole thing is like, it's not a blatant act to cheat. He didn't cheat to win. The line that he went through, it was bannered off, and Stu knew that spot was bannered off, so he didn't take it. If he would have went through that line too, then Jordan wouldn't have made that pass, and then who knows how the race turns out. But Stu did not go through it. Jordan went through it. It ended up being ruled a legal line because officials ended up rerouting it later. That's basically it. I mean, that's the story. There's really nothing else that you can put to that. But my biggest fear is like, I hope this doesn't open up the floodgates to what could happen, because this ruling from what I've heard is the fact that he didn't take the banner down. The banner was down and ended up getting rerouted. So now I hope we don't got mechanics with pocket knives knocking down a banner and pointing a line and saying, banner was down, he didn't take it down. So yeah, tough situation. Obviously tough pill to swallow on both sides. Obviously Jordan with the accusations against him, and then Stu with and also floating around that Stu taking the line beforehand. Who knows? That's where we stand on the situation, I think. Did I miss anything? I'm trying to skate around this the best that I can.
That's kind of what I was sitting there thinking. I don't know what else we could comment about it because, I mean, I wasn't there. You guys were, but that's pretty go off in the deep end whenever you start trying to elaborate, I guess.
So in the Racer TV broadcast, I don't know who they were filming coming off or whatever, but you could tell things were kind of heated. And I don't know that you could hear Stu, but you could hear – I heard Jordan yell, "He took it too!"
Yeah.
And you just mentioned it, but, like, evidently what we've heard is that maybe the lap before, Stu took the line, and then the next lap didn't take the line and got passed in the line. And then passed back and then got passed in the line again. But I didn't know until just now that what you just said about the banner being down. Obviously, if you blow through the banner and pass somebody, obviously that's one thing. But the banner being down, it's kind of shady, kind of gray area.
What was that double placard area? Was it double arrow area?
I saw the video. I didn't pay that close attention to it. I believe that it was twine with pink ribbon.
See, because I was originally told it was double placard, and they took the double placard down whenever the line got opened up, which in my mind, that is when it is a bigger deal than, like, if everyone knows there's a double placard there and the state.
Yeah, then it doesn't matter if there's banner up or not.
So
there's two double placards. You got to go between.
That was my understanding the whole time, was there was double placard, and GNCC changed it with the opening of that banner and undouble placarded it. Which case would be absolutely screwed in my mind.
Yeah, I think you put double placards up, they stay up all weekend.
Yeah.
But then the fact that GNCC, track officials, whatever, tied that back up, that makes it kind of weird. It makes Stu's argument really hard. I mean, in my opinion, and like, I don't know. obviously I haven't seen the video of Jordan taking it, but did they video just Jordan, or did they video everybody? Because wasn't that like when all this started happening a few years ago at
Buckwheat.
Wasn't that a thing that you like? They said in the rules, like if you're videoing, you have to video the entire class.
Yeah, they updated the media guidelines. They added media guidelines to protest, which the whole entire time there were, because like I said, I saw the video at the finish, and it was presented to, I don't know what his role is, but Ryan Holiday, who's over Team Green Kawasaki, big wig at Kawasaki. Yeah. He was the one that brought it to the officials on behalf of the Red Bear team. But yeah, there was video, and the whole time I was sitting there thinking, it's like there's not the guidelines now say it has to be a continuous video of everyone in the class, and it wasn't that. But then it comes down to the thing, like if there is someone like in a blatant area, say someone does blow through a double placard or blow through a string and it's on camera, and you only have that person doing it, like, are you supposed to just not do anything about it?
Yeah.
And the whole thing with this, too, is like I said, I don't think Jordan Ashburn is going out there and intentionally cheating. I know that he's not. Everyone develops race lines throughout the race. We've seen it happen time and time again. And a situation like this where it's your hometown race, you got the pressure on you, you're racing for all that money. You see a line, there's not a banner there, it's an opportunity to pass, you're going to take it. And I would say that pretty much everyone on that XC2 and XC1 row would also take that same line. But my whole thing is like, with the rulings, it comes down to it like intent doesn't determine fault. And so whether you meant to do it, whether you knew it was there, knew it wasn't there, those situations, like I wish there was a way to police it better to the fact of like, if you do this, then this. Mm-hmm. And right now there is none of that. It's all gray area. It's all promoter discretion. And we see these situations come up time and time again, and they're handled in different ways, it seems, a lot of the times. Like there's not a if this, then this. It's let's assess it case by case. Sometimes we'll do this. Sometimes we'll do this. Sometimes we'll do that. Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's like in that line, like you said, it does make, since the officials ended up rerouting or tying it back up and opening that line up, it does make it tough. Like, yeah, the banner was down, but that became part of the race course for safety concerns or for whatever it was. But it's the same thing. Like, intent doesn't determine fault. Like, if you're a professional golfer and you put your club on the grass and the ball rolls, it's a 2-stroke penalty. You got to put it back. You didn't mean to make the ball roll, but it rolled. If you don't see a speed limit sign and you're speeding, you can't tell the cop, well, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be going this fast. But same thing. I guess to put a bow on this whole thing and wrap it all up, I can see both sides' arguments and I can argue both sides' arguments. Like, and it's one of those situations where it is a gray area. There is actually, I guess at the end of the day, it's not a gray area because they rerouted it and it became the track. But
so let me ask you this, because I don't know where it was. Do you know, like, what mile marker or where on the track it was?
It was, trying to think of the track. So, physically on the track, it was 30 yards away from the 2-mile marker. So, where Ben crashed and where the trails come up and meet right
at
there.
At the top of that hill?
Yeah, and the 2 is up here, but the two, they were coming up the hill.
And turning left.
Yeah, the 2, they were coming at you and turning left. So I don't know if that would have been either the 1.5 or the 5.5. What would that be behind it? Like down the hill and behind is where that section was.
Before they come back up right there.
I think it would have been the 5.5 or 4.5.
I bet I can look at a track map right now.
I got it right here.
Yeah, I could look at a track map and figure it out.
So by here, this turn here. Because this is the 2 going out.
2.1 says Blake.
So right in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Thanks,
so
Blake.
it sounds like, was it just a corner cut off? Or was it was it outside of like the 15, 25 foot rule, whatever that is?
It was like,
because it sounds to me,
no,
it sounds to me like if there wouldn't have been banner there to begin with, it would have been a legal line.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like I said, it was 3 feet off the main line. It wasn't
Yeah, so it was
26
like
feet
it was like
off the main line.
It was like cutting a corner off.
Yeah, and like I said, and people are saying in there like, oh, the lap times would reflect it. This spot was not an egregious line. It wasn't very far off the track. It ended up becoming part of the track. But it was a passing opportunity where Stu saw the banner, and there was actually GNCC officials at the time that this happened up on the hill watching the whole thing. So I think Stu saw the officials, knew there was banner there, didn't want to play with the gray area, so he went outside and didn't take it, and Jordan Ashburn took it. But
that
banner wasn't there when he went through it.
That brings me to another point, and I mentioned this earlier, that first time I've ever gone out and biked the track on Saturday, looked at the whole thing other than racing it. But ever since, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago when they started doing the placards and the candy cane ribbon, they have gone freaking overkill with that stuff and ribbon and string. And
have we gotten a text from our maybe special guest?
Yeah, I bet that one ain't happening.
But
because that's one person that echoes that sentiment.
So you mentioned
loudly.
You mentioned that earlier, and I'd noticed it. Obviously, I'm not at every one of these things and not doing it for a living, but they have narrowed up these racetracks with the placards and everything to where, unless somebody moves out of the way, it's almost like we're racing four-wheelers. Like, it's hard to pass, and it takes a lot of the creativity out of it. Now, granted,
Buddy, some of us are racing four-wheelers, all right?
you bragged about passing one person, T-Shep, and I'm going to blow you out here. It was a girl.
Hey, pass is a pass, brother.
But
I pass an old man, too. Leave me alone.
But what I'm getting at is, like, what I was going to say is granted, with the e-bikes and the amount of time that the pro riders spend on the tracks now, like pre-riding and looking at stuff, and they're not supposed to make lines, but you know that they're walking stuff, cutting off corners and whatnot. I get why GNCC is doing that with all the placards and everything, but they have, in my opinion, gone overkill and taken a lot of creativity out of
ways to pass, ways to get around the track.
Like hot lines, and I won't say cheater lines, but hot lines.
Well, same thing you're talking about how Jack uses the trail different.
Yeah.
And here's my thing. Yes, there's certain areas that need placards, right? That, let's just say you're in an open pine that you could literally cut off. You know, you could go, it makes a big U and you could cut that off.
Yeah.
I get that. But, like, you're out here in the middle of the woods and you want to take a line off the track, just like National Enduro.
National Enduro does it.
It's not prepped. They're not going through there moving rocks and taking out the dangerous stuff. You want to go blitzing through the middle of the woods to try to make a pass? Do it. Stay within your 25-foot rule.
Yeah.
But do it. But I don't know. I think there's.
I guess you got to watch too where the trail kind of gets close together like that. It's a good way to get discombobulated a little bit.
Well, but they've got checks, and they still have the checks throughout the track. And I think I've seen 3 or 4 throughout the track, which is normally there's at least 2 plus the finish. But I swear this weekend I seen at least 3 easy ups set up throughout the track, and they're checking that. Now, you know, obviously they can't just set that up the morning of the race so you don't know where they are. But I don't know. I think they've gone a little overboard with the placards.
Yeah, and I mean
the string and
talking like personally with a lot of the XC1 guys, like I know, and XC2, like a lot of them are not happy with it because, like you said, a big part of what it takes to go fast at these things is knowing the lines, getting creative, and not riding the main line. And there's so much twine and so much ribbon and so much placard that it kind of forces everybody into the same line. So then It takes away passing opportunities. It takes away the ability to ride the track too much differently. And yeah, I know that is a big point that a lot of riders are making about wanting to find a way to reduce how much they're narrowing down the track and tightening it down. Because I mean, same thing, dude. I'm out there filming, and sometimes there'll be double placards like out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's two things. Like one where there's nothing around, like there's nowhere else to go. But then yeah, a lot of times it'll be like boulders or something impassable on the outside, and they put double placards.
Yeah.
It's like.
Why?
Well, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like they got to go through there.
Or
then
like,
the ones that are just out there with no rhyme or reason.
I've seen it where like you come out of a field and into a section, and there's, let's just say the track goes between two trees, and on each side of that's like really thick briar bushes that you're not gonna go through, and there's placards on those trees. Just like why waste them? Like you're not gonna go through there. But yeah, I don't know. I think there needs to be, and like you said, if there's enough riders that have an issue with it, like they need to open up their ears and make some changes. Like I said again, though, I get their side and what they're trying to prevent and do, because there's definitely guys that go out there and bite the track and break a twig off this tree and know they got to turn and go through this bush to start with to cut off 15 foot and make a pass. But yeah, I don't know.
See, people are doing that to find hotlines. Josh Toth is doing that to find cool things to jump.
That was sick.
You see Ethan, they pointed Ethan to hit it.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
I saw, who was it? Someone came up to me and showed me, it was your buddy.
Brady.
The redheaded guy.
Hey, I
Brady.
saw him.
The redheaded boy from Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Yeah, he showed me, he showed me video of these kids pointing people down that rock and like a couple people going ass over tea kettle, like over the bars rolling downhill. Yeah, I saw the same one. Maybe, kids pointing them into that line after Toth hit it, and then people just getting ruined over it. I mean, if Harwell was going a little bit quicker, I mean that could have ended badly for him.
Wonder if that was the same kids that did all the chicken vandalism and the
dude. How about that
coffee
shit?
creamer?
Who thinks about putting raw chicken down a quick fill?
Well, they stole it
and creamer.
They stole it out of some dude's cooler
who was diabetic.
That was diabetic. Stole all his food out of there and then just put raw chicken breast all over somebody's bike and then poured coffee creamer in the gas tank.
In 2 generators too.
Really?
From what I heard.
Maybe
a couple generators and race bikes.
Maybe that's what was wrong with my generator.
Could have been. Hey, dude, it honestly could have been.
I got it back running, though.
There we go.
I'll kick a kid so quick.
Worked it through there.
And then Saturday night, they organized a MMA fight.
Yeah.
They said there were
30-plus kids in the woods.
Yeah.
Fighting in the woods.
Yeah. Like and Tim said it was like on Facebook or something. Like yeah.
That's kind of badass.
I was upset I wasn't invited to that. I would have had a good time.
Yeah, you go fight a bunch of 12-year-olds.
But like, we all did some stupid stuff when we were a kid. That's not funny. That's like to ruin people's thousands of dollars worth of equipment. Like stealing people's food is one thing, but then putting it in people's generators, putting it in people's bikes. That shit ain't funny. Like that's not a prank. That's not banging on campers' doors and running away.
In the woods. That's one thing. That's good, clean American fun. You want to mess up someone's new 450?
Then make a man of you.
Piss on you, kid.
The raw chicken breast on the bike, like if I was to do that to Craig,
in the quick fill cap.
No, not like in the gas tank. Just on the seat and on the bike. That's funny. Like you're pranking your buddy, but to go do that to a random person you don't know, steal their food, put it all over their bike, put it in their gas can or gas tank, and pouring the coffee creamer in the gas tank. Yes, that's And the shitty part about it is
thousands of dollars worth of damage, dude. That's the part. That's
especially
not funny.
if you cranked it up and ran it.
Yeah.
But like we all go to these races, and honestly, like I didn't put a log cable on my generator. It was plugged up to the camper, sitting out there. I left my e-bike laying beside or leaned up against the camper charging while I was racing. It's like we go to these races and almost think of it as a safe place, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. Now, people coming in out and stealing things, like you can't control that, but people in the racing community, like, come on, guys, that's ridiculous.
A lot of blaming going on between kids over who that was.
Really?
Yeah.
You've heard some stories.
Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a lot of kids pointing fingers, and I knew some of them, but one of them I think ended up getting busted. I don't know if he actually did it or not.
Somebody
but
ratted on him.
yeah, they got somebody. But that's like everyone was ratting on everybody. Everyone said there was like 10
Who
different
got
people.
that
That did it.
$500?
I don't know. That's what we need to know. But yeah. Anyway, I hope that was enough to fill you in on what happened and enough to keep me out of trouble. Just, I mean, you can't not talk about it. And same thing, like when it was being discussed, the only thing that kept being said over and over again is, we're not going to talk about this here, we'll talk about this somewhere else. And then I look over.
Well, I think
and
that's bullshit too.
I
I
do
think
too.
it, like, you got the parties there. You've got the evidence there. Like, make the ruling then before you do official results, before you make your Instagram post, before you do podiums and podium pictures. Like, I don't agree with, hey, let's not talk about it here. I think they did the XC2 podium first
and top amateur.
before, and I think that's great. Like, but pull everybody to the side, and if you don't need to do it at the finish, go back to the scoring trailer. Go back to somewhere maybe outside of the finish area to discuss it. But that decision needs to be made, which it sounds like it was. But let's not discuss it here. I mean, it's like, no, let's meet over here at the AMA truck or the AMA tent in 10 minutes, and we'll handle this. But yeah,
Yeah. But I mean, so when Tim walked over to talk to Stu, I got a good relationship with both those guys. Like I talk with Tim Cotter every round. He saw me picking up my plaque. We talked about it for a minute, and like every round to see him, shake his hand, and like I would like to think I have a good working relationship with Tim. And him and Stu were talking, and I was just documenting. Same thing. Like media, it's everywhere. Now when you go to a GNCC finish line, I saw like a number 32 media vest.
dude, there's
So
a
that means
ton of
there's
people
like
taking
30.
pictures.
Yeah. So everyone's out there with a camera. Everyone's out there doing something. But my biggest thing is like, this is the premier race series. It's a big like if it was a NASCAR race, cameras would be in your face
Everywhere.
till you figure it out. If it was another sporting event, cameras would be in your face till you figure it out. And so I'll be 100% honest with you. Like Rob is the Racer X or the GNCC film guy now, and Tim and Stu walk over and they start talking, and I was like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't film that. And then I look over and Rob's filming him, so I was like, oh. Well, if he's filming him, I'm going to film him.
Yeah.
So then we were both sitting there, and then that's when Tim stopped Stu in the middle of it and turned towards both of us, and he's like, you guys both know better than this, and made us stop filming.
Well, and that's why the sport doesn't grow the way it should, because we got guys like that hushing everybody up.
But, I mean, we talked about it before, like, it shouldn't be – I'm sitting here trying to ride these gray areas, and I'm sitting here freaking out all day about how do we talk about this, how do we discuss about this without being the bad guy. It shouldn't come from me. It shouldn't come from us. There should have been a release. They should have, like, a penalty report or some type of something like, hey, this is the accusations that was made on our live broadcast. This is why we did our podiums out of order. Here's what happened. Here's the ruling. Here's how we did it. Or even when people get docked. Like, there's no penalty report that comes out. There's nothing that explains what happens. Like, it's not up to me to explain what's going on, because then when I try to explain it, I get backed into these corners, and I'm afraid to say something. I'm afraid to make everybody mad, and I like Jordan, I like Stu, and so it's like, how do I go about this? But like, I think from the promoters, there should be something put out of like, here's what we found, here's why we ruled this way. Instead, you get the opposite of, hey, don't film us talking about this.
Yeah.
It's like it's a very public thing.
Which is kind of shady. Very shady, actually.
Uh,
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's shady as shit. There's a lot of shady shit going on.
It's just like the consistency is one thing, but at least if there's not consistency, let's be transparent about it. Like, I want to know why you came to this decision, what the evidence that you,
Right.
and not me specifically.
Yeah.
Like, I debated on calling up there and figuring out what was going on, but like I said, I talked to another official that was involved in it, and I felt like I had a good enough run at it to talk about it on here, so I didn't call. But like as an average fan, it's like, why did this happen?
Yeah.
Why did we rule this way? What's going to happen next time? And that's the only thing I ask for: transparency and information.
Yeah.
Or I guess transparency and consistency.
Well, luckily,
there's neither of the two. That's a
yeah,
fact.
and that's kind of why. I mean, that's what we got to do. I mean, even if it looks bad sometimes, it doesn't matter.
And,
Got to let them know.
And I do want to say this. This might, piss some people off, but I think
Oh no.
honestly, I think it was bullshit that Stu didn't get on the podium. I get he was pissed, but how long has? I mean, it's been a huge deal that he's had issues with the bike and not winning and not being on the podium. And how long has Kawasaki wanted to have that bike on the podium? I wanted Stu on the podium, and then he didn't go on the podium.
But I mean,
I get he was pissed.
To that point, and Willie B does it, says you're the media, it should come from you. Yeah, for me to talk about it, but I should be talking about the information that they put out. Like, I shouldn't be providing the information. I should be discussing and breaking down the information. That's what I meant by that. Obviously, something like this happens, I can't just go on the show and act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we got to talk about it. We got to address it. Everyone saw it. It was there. But back to your point about that whole thing about the podium, is that was the first thing that so Stu said that if this ruling didn't happen, that he wouldn't go on another podium. And then whenever they came over and told him, he got on his bike, he went back to the truck. And say what you will, it's kind of the same thing that I preface this whole thing with. What is there to gain by him going on the podium? Because he's not going to go up there and not address it. He's going to go down there and double down what he said. And to your point about Kawasaki wanting him on the podium and bike issues in the past and him getting on there, he did his TV interview and he thanked his sponsors. So no one sees the podium but the 10 people that are standing there at the end of the race. And so he fulfilled his sponsor obligations by getting it on the live broadcast that everyone sees and everyone hears. The actual physical podium, nobody's there. And when you're that fired up, and who knows, he could be making 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand per race win. We don't know. And that got taken from him. And so he was heated in the moment. So it's kind of one of those, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything things, in my opinion. I don't know that to be a fact. I'm just saying my perspective.
I do think, so I saw Kawasaki's post, right, of, they said,
something in integrity.
Yeah, and then I thought that was pretty slick that they said that, but also included the award that Toth got for what he did at the Duke, which we should bring that up too. But I thought it was pretty slick how they did that, and because you almost knew exactly what they were saying. Yeah. But then, without, they have something to go back on and say, no, we was talking about Toth and this award that GNCC, the sportsmanship award. But, in my opinion, Kawasaki would have loved to, even if it was second or third, would have loved to have a picture of the podium and that Kawasaki on the podium with their post. I guarantee you.
I bet the media could crop it for them.
I'd put $100,000 on it that if Stu was on that podium and there was a picture of Stu on the podium, that would have been in Kawasaki's post.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So,
but
I just think
Holiday was there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he approved it or okayed it, but he was there.
Yeah, and yeah, I think he should have. The ruling's a ruling at whether he goes on the podium or not. Yeah, he's pissed. It's not going to change anything. Once the decision's made, I think you got to man up and take it on the chin. And then if there is a fight to have, and, they could always go back and you could protest it and change it after, which is not ideal. But I think for the company that you ride for and all that, at some point you got to man up. But yeah, whatever.
See, and I guess,
but also, he's a man. He's a man of his word. So he wasn't going on another podium, and he didn't. So,
did Stu take your puppy or something? Like,
I'm just.
No, and I appreciate it because obviously
I'd tell Stu this to his face.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, and I appreciate because I get all sorts of things of being biased or whatever. So I do appreciate hearing the other side, but like the stuff like with with Cody and the bike blowing up and stuff before, it seems like you threw a lot of fault there too. But now I'm getting discombobulated.
Skip past this right now.
Sorry.
Hey, I did talk to Cody Friday night about the bike breaking.
Yeah.
Was told, what happened and everything. I'm not gonna say it on here because I wasn't told not to, but I know I'm not supposed to. But it definitely wasn't Cody's fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And that's what we were trying to hint around at the time. But anyway, no, I didn't mean that about it. And now I damn screwed up the word.
Oh, shit. So did Uncle Tim threaten to give you the Slowy treatment?
No, that's why, like, same thing. Like, what that kid did was pretty egregious. I don't think I could ever go to that level. I just talk about facts.
And back to what you're saying, I would say the same thing about anybody. Like, it's not a Stu thing. I like Stu. I don't have a problem with Stu. I think the things that they do is great. I think I can see why things like this don't go Stu's way, because of the history and the persona that he carries and this and that, which is, in my opinion, is kind of what he's asked for and the way.
But I guess so.
But like if Jordan, let's flip the script, right? They give it to Jordan. Jordan's pissed. Jordan doesn't go on the podium. I'd say the same thing about Jordan. And I mean, I think everybody knows it.
I mean, I think any team would like to have their bikes up there. I would agree with that. But given the situation,
I guess
I get it.
What the thing in that thing, like saying like at some point you got to man up and go up there and face it. Stu is like the first part. I think when anything happens, like he'll come on this show and talk about it, or he'll go on social media and talk about it. Like he doesn't run from adversity. I think this was a big part of the situation. Of he said that if this happened, he wasn't going on the podium, and then if he didn't do that, then he's a liar. He's not sticking to his word. Yeah. The way that Stu operates,
I just said he was a man of his word. He didn't go on the podium.
I believe that's probably what he was thinking in this process. But I mean, same thing. You see the comments online, you hear the stuff in person. It's like when he doesn't go on the podium, obviously that's going to be a point. Everyone's going to say he's crying or he's being a baby or he's not going up there. But I think at the end of the day, look at what he said in the Racer TV interview on the live broadcast. If he went up there on the podium, I'm sure it would have been 10 times worse.
So if Stu
and so he's been dealing with this stuff with GNCC on Sunday, and I think they had calls yesterday. And so it's like I don't in the heat of the moment, especially because we waited around so long for the XC1 podium, and then they came over and said, "Here's our ruling, Jordan wins." Then it's fresh. Then it's immediate. Then it's like, okay, now that we told you that, we need you on the podium right now. Yeah. So it's like, in that situation, yes, the optics wasn't good to not be on the podium, but I could understand why he bypassed going to the podium in the heat of the moment.
So if he wins power lines, he get on the podium?
I don't know.
Doubt
it. One thing about Stu is Stu is going to stew.
Oh. Yeah.
And we might not see him on a podium again. And I could see Stu, like, making that a point, going out there, winning power line, and, like, his post was today just P2. That was it. Or yesterday, whenever it was. And then Thad commented on it and said, you're either getting old or getting soft, because I expected a lot more than P2. But Stu's the type of guy that could go out and win Powerline Park by 2.5 minutes and not go to the podium and post the status that night and say P1 and just move on with life. And I don't know.
I bet that post would get a lot more engagement than going up to that podium.
What?
I'm just saying, I bet just not even going to the podium and going to the social media and posting it gets a lot more engagement than him going over to the podium for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we'll just live stream our own podium after. I don't know.
There's one thing for sure, and at this point, it's never going to change. And I think everybody knows this. I think Stu knows this. But he's the black sheep of GNCC. He always has been.
Yeah, but he's also the face of it.
100%. But
he's also one of Kerry Joe's biggest advocates.
Yeah,
Like
and
he's flown out to 2 Supercrosses to go to meetings. He went to Talladega to represent GNCC. Like that's the thing is he is the black sheep and he is the outcast, but he's also the biggest promoter of the sport.
Yeah.
Like he. I don't want to say the only one because someone's going to bring up one example from 10 years ago, but when you think about it, like who else is promoting GNCC outside of race weekend besides him?
Easy, brother.
Easy for you to say.
No, I completely agree with that. It's. I was thinking about this today or on the way home after this whole situation and everything, but there's no doubt that he's the black sheep. He's the outcast. Like when things go wrong, like it's almost like the officials double down on it because it's Stu, because he's got that persona, whatever. But then they also, like you just said, kiss his ass, want him to send him to Talladega or send him to Japan or the Supercrosses, whatever, because he's got the loudest voice, for sure. But I feel like part of that is, and this kind of goes opposite of what everything Stu's about, and I could be completely wrong, but part of that is, I feel like it's him kissing ass. Like, trying to get on good graces. Like, he's and I could be way off on this, but it kind of seems like he wants to do everything to get on their good graces, and they're just never going to let that happen.
Well, you look at it now, he's not just a racer anymore. He's team owner. He's got the National Enduro Series. I think he's just trying not to be 25 and pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to be.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got to work with these people for a long time.
And I feel like it's been that way throughout his whole career.
Well, I think he's one of the only ones that, there's not many of them that will just say exactly what they think. And that's kind of, you get praised by your peers a little bit, and then you get the people who don't want to hear what you have to say pissed off at you.
Right.
So, I don't know, kind of
I think both sides walk a fine two-faced line. Really.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely does change things now with him running an AMA National Series. Like, there's 5 AMA number 1 plates, and I think when decisions are made, those entities collectively get together and decide a lot of important things. And so he's got to have that working relationship with them. But also, like, he went pro when he was 16 years old. So it's like his livelihood and anybody's livelihood that rides a dirt bike is wrapped up in that. So obviously he's not going to want to go out and go against them and do any, or like you said, stay in their good graces. Like that's the goal when you make your living on a dirt bike in their series. Yeah. But it is a good relate because, like I said, the stuff that Stu does to promote the sport and grow the sport, I think, is very beneficial, and he does have the biggest voice in the sport. But from everything I've known, they've always worked really well together, and I know Stu calls for advice, and they talk about a lot. So I don't know.
We'll see how that goes.
Here.
I'm not as tied in as you are with either side, so I'm kind of giving my opinion a little more outside looking in, I think, but just from things that I've seen in the past, and I can't name them, specifically. But
how long was the race this weekend?
Well, I love and respect everyone involved, and I appreciate that we have GNCC, and I appreciate that we have race teams, and I appreciate we have ANEC. I appreciate all of it. The race was just shy of the 2 hour and 45 minute minimum. It was 2 hours and 42 minutes and 29 seconds. Was it?
That's crazy.
Which I think this is 2 or 3 that is just shy of the 2:45 minimum.
Florida
and they were running like 20-something minute laps. If you could run them another one, they'd be right at 3.
How about that bright ass? I never noticed you had that ring on. Holy shit, dude! Just like him change, you got to tuck that thing in. You're distracting me.
It weirds me out because it catches the reflection of the light, and every time I see myself up there.
Like you're about to punch somebody or get a little kiss on the pinky ring or whatever.
Well, now that there's a damn GNCC fight club going on,
Yeah.
I gotta
Brass
stay
knuckles.
ready, dude. But yeah.
Anyway.
What
22-minute laps. So yeah, they definitely could have done another one.
Yeah, I think it was 2:42, so it would have been just over 3 hours. But Craig, I'm already sitting here overthinking this whole thing, especially because there's more people on here watching than there normally is, and I'm trying my best to stay right down the middle and not say anything wrong. And
Well, we got more to say.
I'm gonna be up at night thinking about this, deleting the show because of all the stuff we said. Uh-oh.
All right. Let's switch gears.
Are we doing it?
Yeah. We're switching gears.
Let me wrap up my thoughts. I forget what I was saying there.
Better remember.
yeah.
What was I just on a tangent about?
Walking.
Making sure you still got a job this week.
Making everybody happy.
Yeah. All the people in here listening to all this, me overthinking everything.
Being censored.
Okay.
Crap. I needed to put a bow on this before we get into this next conversation. Because same thing. Anything that happens in the show, you don't get the full context. People get a clip of it or people get the cliff notes and don't even listen to it. So I just don't want anything I say to be misconstrued because I don't know. I don't know how else I can. All right. I guess we'll do it.
Don't sound so depressed.
It's Cinco de Mayo, brother. We're about to get tacos.
Same thing. My livelihood is wrapped up in all of this, and that's why.
And all you're doing is doing it correctly.
Trying
by
to find
giving the news.
Trying to find the mix of giving the facts, giving the information, and then not being banned for life because that would really screw up a lot of things in my life.
You ain't at that point.
Be a pilot. I got a 150 for you.
Someone that might know more about that. Coming back and joining us on the show, we mentioned we could have a special guest surprise, and we are living that right now because this past weekend,
Good podcast.
the 8-time champion made his return back to the overall podium with a third place finish on the weekend. Welcome back to the show, Kailub Russell. Caleb, what's going on, dude?
What's going on, boys? How are you?
Hey.
Trying to eat some dinner. I just got home. Been a long day. Been gone since noon. So
Heck, give us a second. The YouTube video is still playing in the background, so we're getting that paused up. But yeah, so back home, back joining us, back on the podcast. What's it like? What we got going on? Back on the podium? Are we happy about it? We pumped about it? We hungry for more? Where are we at?
I'm happy with it. I've been happy with my riding over the honestly all year really. So I'm really happy with third, and especially to be in the fight for the win. I know, like last race, I was pretty frustrated after the Dukes, and I remember getting in the truck on the ride home, and Chandler was she's like, "Why are you so pissed off?" And I was like, "Fourth is really good," and I was like, "It's not that it's not good. I was 2 minutes from the lead, which obviously bad start and dusty track, but it was like I'm not satisfied unless I'm in the fight for the win." I was like, "Yeah, fourth place is fine for my first race back," but I wasn't even close to the win, and I was like, and obviously I'm not the same rider I used to be, but it seems like everybody's expectations for myself have like lessened, and I'm just not going to let my expectations drop to other people's standards. So, and I kind of explained it to her in that way. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not unhappy with getting fourth, but I wasn't even in the battle for the win, so it doesn't matter."
Dang. Well, now, so coming off of this one, obviously 12 seconds, 11 seconds off of the win. Your post mentioned that you were also there in contention. So what does that do for the psyche of this time? Like you said, I mean, couple wrong moves or them two battling, and you're right there. But just kind of how you maintained the race and made your way back up through the pack. It seemed like an all-around solid day for you.
Yeah, it was solid for the most part. The start was still not so great, and so it was really difficult, stressful the opening lap again. But I made some good passes, and Yeah, once I got in a position, I was like, well, actually, when I got into like around fourth, I kind of had a little bit of a distance after we got around Mike. I couldn't tell how far out Craig was, and then there was a spot on the track where I could see Stu, and he was about 20 seconds, and I was like, all right, let's see what happens this lap. And actually, I caught up relatively fast, but I think it was right when we started hitting lappers, so I think they chilled out just a hair at the front. It seemed like so. Um, but yeah, I felt comfortable right there, and kind of felt back at home really. And I'm just happy to finally have a good ride. And it's yeah, it seems like I just starting the year really for me, but um, yeah, I'm just glad to be back in the mix. And I know I still have it. I've been racing with like Jordan most of my career. I think he went to XC1 one year after I did, so it's like you see him doing that good. I know I'm still at his level, at least. So it's I don't understand the mentality of some people count me out so much and so hard here and there. But um, maybe they're not. Maybe I'm just looking into it. I mean, as a racer, you're always in your mind and looking for something to, I don't know, motivate you, so to
Yeah.
speak. So
Have you ever watched the Have
um,
you ever watched The Last Dance with Michael Jordan?
yeah, no, I have. Yeah,
And
yeah,
kind of the same thing. Like someone would give him a compliment, and he'd use that. He'd twist that whole thing in his head and make it think that they were talking the most shit they ever talked, and use it against
yeah,
him.
exactly. No,
It's-
I find myself doing the same thing all the time. It's like, yeah, no, it is funny. Like as a, I don't know, high performer, sometimes like you just you take things and you take them the wrong way, 100%. But and two, like I said, I'm really passionate about what I do, and um, yeah. So when you get emotion mixed with passion, it's yeah. You see like Stu's a prime example as well as emotion mixed with passion, and we don't care what we say sometimes. So
yeah, you'll have a little bit of that.
Uh, Caleb, I know when you came back last year, I think you had said your Yamaha deal was 2 years of racing for sure, and then kind of maybe into a media role. Is that still where you're at, or at this point, are you looking to try to race again next year, or do you know that yet?
Damn, hitting him with the heavy stuff
Well,
right out of the gate. Let the man enjoy his podium.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it kind of slow here. I would like to race again, and really, like, I'm kind of to the point where I don't want to say I want to do it until I can't, but I want to do it. I think right now at this moment that I'm in, which I don't really want to keep hurting myself and in a way where it deteriorates my life. But I don't feel like I am. Like my knees are manageable. I just got to be careful. And if you have a big crash like I did in Florida, like I seen BK, the video of his crash, and it reminded me a lot of like what happened to me in Florida. At least the ground was a little bit softer for me there, but the bike just mangled me up. Like the bike ate me up is what got me. If you have one of those, like, yeah, it is what it is. You're rolling the dice. But um, I feel like I'm having fun, and I am happy, and I'm getting some enjoyment out of it, and I'm just now finally getting traction and momentum with the bike. And I don't want to end on a season where I missed 3 races basically. So I want to give a true fight for a title, and I think I'm still capable to do that. Um, yeah, I just got to put all the pieces back together,
So
and yeah, I would like to continue racing for sure. So we'll see what happens.
So something that you just mentioned there, and it was kind of what I was going to follow up and ask you about is obviously the knee that kept you out from a couple races this year wasn't in the cards. Didn't plan on that going into it. So I was going to ask, with it being a 2-year deal and this being the second year of those 2 years, like, do you feel in a way that title run or that season got robbed a little bit by having to miss a couple rounds with injury?
Now I do, yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at the points, but and then look at the trouble everybody's had, and yeah, for sure, I'm really bummed that Big Buck played out the way it did. I had rolled the dice and took a gamble on goggles, and um, yeah, got blinded basically, and
I forgot, but that seems like
yeah,
a
then
year ago.
Yeah, it does.
I know, right? Yeah, and then Florida played out the way it did. Luckily, I was able to finish. I got up and I gritted it out and ended up sixth. But yeah, I'm really happy I didn't try to race the next two races because I don't think I was. I think I would have done more damage and probably not finished 100%. I probably wouldn't have finished that mud race with the way my knee was. I couldn't even walk on Sunday. I got PRP done on Saturday or Friday, something like that, at the track by Dr. Tanner. And once he did that, he like re-aggravated it and he put fluid back into the joint.
Mm.
So I was done for the weekend. Like I could barely, be out there for my kids and get around. So um yeah, it just didn't work out. But I was actually really surprised that, in 4 to 6 weeks, and we had, a couple of good breaks in between races that really left me some time to heal and stay off the bike, which the on the bike stuff is what hurts my knees a little bit. Yeah, as far as the training outside of that, I was still able to train in other ways, and the healing process was nice, and it was a good little break for it. But I'm bummed I had to miss the two races, obviously.
Well, and T-Ship mentioned I didn't really mean to throw out such a deep, hard question, but the reason I asked is, man, it's pretty obvious that, or at least it seems that way, that you're really enjoying this chapter of racing. And I mean, I don't think there's any question that when you retired the first time that you were kind of over it, right? Like you were definitely burnt out, wanted to do something different, and now like you got two kids at the races racing. One looks like he's on the cusp of lining up at a GNCC. Just talk about like, I guess how fun it is, and you did say you're enjoying it and everything, but like, what's it like having your kids there and seeing them progress and racing, and because I've kind of followed along. It seems pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's obviously it's a lot more work. Um, and it's been nice. Cruz actually hurt himself too and isn't racing currently. Um, but it's the last couple of races I haven't had to get up at 8 a.m. on Sunday to be on the starting line. So it's been a little bit of a break for me, which was nice, but it is cool to do the whole thing. It's special to be able to do it with them at this level. And when I originally quit racing, it wasn't. I was definitely over it in aspects of the stress and the pressure, and that's why most guys you know check out, like RC and RV and Dunge and all that. It's hard to live your life in that amount of stress and um, that zone. It's that zone becomes not really fun. And you put yourself in that, and you set those expectations on yourself. And at the end of the day, nobody really cares if I win or lose, and people enjoy me still being out there. And I've got some awesome fans that keep reiterating and reminding me that, and I appreciate that because I get lost sometimes too, just like the next guy. And um, yeah, but I've been enjoying racing and being back at the races to race. And I just want to, at the end of the day, I'm still a fierce competitor at heart. So I'm not going to be the guy out there riding to just burn fuel. Like I can't do that to myself. I'm going to give it my all, and I want to give it my all, but I'm having a lot more fun doing it now too. Like I have more appreciation for it, I guess you could say. So, um, yeah, I like the challenge as well. I didn't think this bike as a whole would be so hard for me to kind of dial in and figure out. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of right there in the ballpark of where I feel like I need to be to be able to have races like I had this weekend.
Right on. And we were talking about this weekend, actually. We had a 20-minute conversation about it, just talking about the double placards in the woods and some of the twine and stuff from the weekend. Did
Yeah,
you?
I've been listening a little bit. I'm not up to speed on where you guys left off, but
That's what we kind of
yeah.
wanted to talk to you about. We had
Neither
mentioned
are
it.
we.
Well, we just wanted to mention it because obviously I wasn't racing. Tom was, and he had made a comment, and so did Tyler. What was it like out there? Was it just a little bit hectic with the? What was the issue with the twine and all the ribbon everywhere? Did it seem a little bit different this weekend, or was it just kind of being a hassle? Especially with the deal with Ashburn and Stu we've been talking about and everyone wants to talk about. Was there anything on your end you wanted to mention?
I'm for me the in my eyes what the string needs to be used for is it's not the racetrack barrier. These guys are out there. They've got 5, 6, 7 miles of string laid out around this track, but the string is there to keep you from going, a quarter mile this way onto the trail that's not far away, within sight of the woods, like a barrier to keep you from either going backwards on the track in a spot if you were to get off, or missing a key turn or something like that. Or if you have like the first bike only section, there was that rock garden where they had it strung off. They wanted to have a confine of that area, and that's cool. That's all fine and dandy, but the piece of string that they have in question, and what I get annoyed with when I'm biking the track, is they had one piece of string tied from a tree to another tree. Well, the track on your right was a drop off, like off a bank, and to the left of you on the track was a steep uphill, like incline. So you're on this old bench trail. They strung this one piece of, you come down the trail, and they wanted you to go across this rock over this route in between, do this chicane between these sketchy little area that became sketchy, and you could see the bark taken off the tree from quads hitting it and bikes falling down. And so I'm sure somebody fell down right there, and another guy wasn't. A couple guys got bottlenecked, and somebody went through the string, or it got broken somehow. I don't think that string was necessary. Like, there wasn't a way you weren't cutting the track by the string. Was a pointless piece of string in my mind, and there's multiple miles of pointless string out there that they use to choke down to just keep you on the quad trail. So it takes away the racing aspect of being able to crisscross lines. And I've had this conversation with Ryan, Tim Cotter, my dad, all these guys, but it's Ryan, from what I gather, he thinks by him using this amount of string and choking it down, it's keeping the racing tighter, when in reality it's just the field has gotten deeper and the talent has risen, so we're all going a faster speed and able to stay with each other now. That's kind of what I see. And once that track broke down, there was only, if you go back and watch my helmet camera, unless one of those guys made a mistake in front of me, there's only one spot I made any passes that all day. I had one line picked out way in the back, and then by the last 3 laps, everybody was doing that line anyways. So it's there was 0 places for me to pass or get a run on anybody unless they just made a mistake. Yeah, I've got a personal vendetta with that string and how they use it, and a lot of people are on the same page. And at this point, Eccles is just doing it out of spite to, like, keep stoking the fire. I really feel like, and it doesn't make the racing any better. It's actually hurting it, because now you see what happens when that string gets knocked down and the shit storm it caused for no reason.
I've been pulled off a bike by the string. It's got me by the neck and pulled me right off.
Inconsequential.
And that's the other thing too. I've heard that Jordan blew through the string. Like, somebody made that rumor. I was like, no. I was like, there's no pro rider that's going to go wide open through that white string.
Mm-mm.
No, they know
and live
better.
to tell about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that feel like it's been changed too whenever you quit? Is it like, I guess since
I think
you came back last
increasingly
year?
gotten worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's increasingly gotten worse since I noticed a lot more in 2020, but it was like after 21 on, like, there's a lot more string. But my whole point is, we all know the rules. I do know there's more massive amounts of riders than ever, and they're all about as smart as a box of rocks sometimes. When you get out there, you let 500 people loose in the morning race and the track goes wild and explodes. So there are areas where it needs to be contained so it doesn't go haywire, right? But the single pieces of string that just tie off to a tree that they want to make you chicane around something on a straightaway is irrelevant to me. And it's a common sense job, and it needs to be looked at in a different set with a different set of eyes. And Lane's done a really good job, but he's got some backlash too from it. And Lane wasn't there this weekend to take any string down. So there's maybe a key point to take away from that.
Well, and I kind of mentioned that like ever since they introduced those placards, and I think like you're saying there's places for those to keep you from going on another track or on the wrong way on a track or cutting too much off a corner, but it's taken a lot of the creativity out of picking lines and honestly, I think it would be more interesting if they kind of did let things go haywire, like to an extent with the morning race, because you guys get there and where you've biked the track on Saturday and say, hey, I know I'm going to take this line. This is the best line. Well, you get there.
Yeah, you get lost.
You get there after the
Get
morning
confused.
race and the track's, what,
Completely different.
50 yards wider than it was on Saturday, and now you don't know what the fast line is.
Yeah, no, exactly. I remember those days. I know like around 2011 to 2015, 16, like the tracks were a lot like that, really. You especially if it was a little bit wet and for the morning race,
yeah.
like you'd get into a section and it was just like, whoa, this I don't even where did this come from?
Georgia
Like
was
it
always
looked like a
wild for
completely
that.
different track sometimes. So, but yeah, it's a double-edged sword. But my biggest thing, um, we know the rules. 20, you got 25 feet. If you find a guy 25 feet off the track, dock him. Like it's simple as that. Like that's my take on it. I've never, I've only been docked one time in my entire career, and I self-docked myself and then got penalized after the race as well. And that was in 2008 at John Penton. It was muddy as hell. Um, there's trails everywhere, and it was just one of those things where I was at this one section of the track trying to bypass this mud hole, and I popped out in the field, and I knew I just made this huge cut, and I didn't even know how to get back to where I was going. It was so gnarly. And I remember stopping and telling my mechanic that, and Freddie was there, and I was, tight in the championship for third place, battling with Dustin Gibson at the time. And I remember after the race, I sat there, and Dustin was actually the next guy in front of me that I was behind, and I sat there and waited for Dustin to come back and pass me, and I stopped and waited on that to happen, and then I got penalized after the race too, it was fine. It is what it is, but um, I don't think you see too many people do that anymore, or ever. But I'm not saying I'm that outstanding of a person, but my opinion too, what I seen from this weekend, um, I did take that line, and I know I was on video taking that line, and it was very easy to do. Is easy. It just the way the track did it funneled you right there, and it was burn in really well when I took it. But what I wouldn't have done is I wouldn't have passed for the lead on that taking that line. I 100% without a doubt could tell you that because I knew that the string was there, and obviously it wouldn't have been in my character to use that line to make a pass for a win. That's kind of all I got to say about that.
That's a good way to sum it up. That kind of puts a bow on the whole conversation. Yeah, I think we beat that one dead enough tonight. But anyway, back to you, man. How are you feeling about the switch back to the 250? Where are we at on that? You said you made some leaps and bounds here with bike setup here lately. Is that a decision that you look back on and happy you went that way and kind of went at it full steam?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I tried to make the 450 work, and it's just not for me in the woods. The new YZ 450 it's a better platform, and I do like the bike. I'm enjoying it a lot more because I have one that I moto on still, but man, I'm just at home on the 250. I can be aggressive in the woods, and I'm just one of those types of guys that when I get a bad start, it's important to try to zap people quick because you see what happens. It gets strung out really fast. So I was putting myself in those positions on the 450, and I'd make more mistakes, trying to be aggressive, and it just wasn't working. And yeah, I enjoy the 250F. I think it's a great bike. And, my personal opinion is, man, there's not too many guys that can ride a 450 to a high level in the woods. And, we've got about the most you'll ever see on the XT1 front line. But yeah, it's not the bike for me. The 250 is a much better platform for me, and just able to be confident in what I'm doing on it. And that's what I kind of was missing last year. And then once the confidence dropped off and I switched to the 250, it was just starting over because we didn't have the bike set up to be where it needed to be comfortable on it. Tried to throw the 450 stuff on it and just go with it, but that was not the ticket. So it took a long time with Ziggy and the guys, Pete and everybody to get comfortable. And we still chip away at it here and there every now and then. I've had a brand new fork set up. It was not much different, but for Kentucky and this race, I kind of made a small tweak to my forks, and we went the right direction for both races. And yeah, just overall, I have a better feeling with the bike. I'm more comfortable on it. Really enjoying the riding, what I'm doing during the week, and that goes a long way.
So it sounds like all that to say that thing just really revving your heart now is what I'm hearing from what you're saying.
I have it revved out too sometimes, but I love it.
Hey,
The Yamaha the YZ250 just sounds so good, like on the pipe. Like it has that raspy. It has such a
Clip it.
completely different.
Clip that.
It has such a completely different sound too when you're on it than when you listen to it go by. Like when I like watch videos of it when I'm on the pipe, I was like, it doesn't sound like that. I wish it sounded like that when I was on it. All I can hear though is like the intake.
yeah.
I get that.
When we gonna get you on one of them Grizzly 700s at T-Shep race this weekend?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I don't want to break my thumbs. I'm good.
Yeah. It was an experience, that's for sure.
Yep.
But no, man, it's cool to see you out, like kind of what they said earlier, like enjoying it and getting back out there, and even just being happy with the ride that you had this weekend. But I mean, Old Gray was somewhere that you hadn't raced until last year. Obviously, it's a new track. I think this is only the third year of racing, but we had the Dukes on the schedule. Powerline Park was a pretty big staple back for years before it went away for a couple years, but now we got Watkins Glen coming up. What do you think about all these new tracks, like the newer tracks to the series, and especially now this year getting to go to a couple brand new facilities? And I mean, Talladega being second year, a lot of new tracks popping up.
Yeah, it's nice for sure because a lot of the places that we're going to, it's just there's just no dirt left, and I remember Ironman when I was a kid and that place being so epic, and honestly really even up until like I don't know 2015, 2016, like it just seemed like it was always moist and always ruddy and soft and technical and ruddy, and it's like I haven't seen it that way in the last 7 years or so. So it's like how much rain do we need to make that track like pump out again and like get a rut going? But
Not
um
2021.
yeah, that was way too much, and it's but no, the new tracks are cool except for the drive. Obviously, I'm not a fan of going driving to New York. The roads past Pennsylvania are pretty terrible and no real good way to get there. And
Yeah.
um, that's my only downfall. But I think it should be fun. I like going to the new tracks because it brings back an old school feel to a GNCC where you have some looser soil in there, some better dirt, and it's a little rockier and bonier, but not in a like straight up fast fire roadish way. It brings back an old school feel, and it's always nice change of scenery too. And we've been going to a lot of these places for so long now. Um, but I like it. It's getting harder and harder to come by and find venues big enough for the series. But obviously the Dukes I don't think was hugely popular by any means. It was cool to go to a new place, and I think that place has some potential to be like a gnarly track. But it's one of those things. It's like where that parking is, like it's on top of that mountain, and to do anything, you'd make it a hard enduro. And half the people wouldn't be able to, get back up the mountain, to be honest with you. So it's super steep on both sides. So it is what it is. Maybe, we keep going there the next 12, 15 years, some of that scrub brush, if there's any soil left, maybe we'll grow up into some bigger trees and hold some foliage and hold some moisture in the ground, because that place, unless it's raining during the race, it's never going to be not be dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to every tire that showed up there. Freaking chopped off.
It was like riding on a cheese grater.
Yeah, it really is. It reminds me of just any sort of West Coast hair scramble. Yeah, all those, which the speeds are so high over there that the tire wears out so fast because it gets so hot, and the deterioration from the heat's what really catches up with it. But yeah, I feel like that you had so much wheel spin and you're always on the gas on those rocks, and then the rocks were just shredding it as well. It's not going to be kind to tires, that's for sure, ever.
Hey, and real quick, you had made a mention in a post, I think last week, maybe getting some redemption at some motocross races. Do you think that's something that's going to happen this year? Or?
I don't know. When I ride moto and I have a good day and I feel good on the bike, I think about doing it. But it's a lot to try to do it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's a little ways out. I need to actually. It's not a little ways out. It's May already. End of the month, they'll be riding moto, racing moto. But I would like to. I do enjoy it and something different. But if it's going to be a hassle, I don't want it to be like a super hassle. Dog, quit. Get.
Which
Just stole a whole plate of food off my counter.
What's on that shirt, real quick? Is that an old Yamaha on that shirt?
No, well, no, it is like it's an anniversary shirt, but it is an old Yamaha.
Yeah.
Heck
It is
yeah.
a pretty cool shirt.
Yeah, I think six.
which
Dog's about to get.
if you do a national, which one would it be?
I have no idea. I just, kind of talking shit for the most part. But, I like High Point. I've done good there. Unadilla, obviously, other than the drive to New York, like I stated before. I enjoyed Southwick, but it's even further than New York. I don't know about driving there. Washougal would be a cool one to go to. I've never been there. It's way too far of a drive. I'm not even considering that one. So it's like I'm running out of options here. Yeah, High Point would be definitely a go-to, but I definitely couldn't make it, get a game plan and be ready to do that by then. So,
Not with that
yeah,
attitude.
Yeah. Saturday
I know,
morning,
I
wake
know.
up.
I'm talking to myself.
I
Yeah, we'll
go ahead.
we'll see what the next after the next couple times I ride moto, if I still have the itch or not.
Hey man, I've seen the data. You can do stuff that ChatGPT doesn't even think is possible. It's thinking you're lying to it. It don't even know what you got going on. You can make it to High Point.
That was pretty funny. I was sitting on the couch. I was like, I wonder what if I put this picture in there, because I just realized that you could like upload pictures in there. Anyways, I was like, what if I put this in there and ask it for a review of that? What it would come up with? And just out of curiosity, I thought it was pretty funny.
I just think it was funny that like it kept reverting back to. It could be the most intense thing you've ever done, or you probably just could have put it in there wrong.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
follow up? Be
No,
like,
for
no,
sure.
this is real. Everything's set right.
Yeah.
This is what happened.
Yeah, I didn't even tell it my age either. It probably would have been like next level impressed if I would have told it my
Yeah.
age, but
You
like
just-
definitely impossible. Your parameters are way off.
Yeah, mid-30s. No, your whole thing is set up there. It's not even
Yeah.
close, right?
Your heart, you should be dead. Cardiac arrest.
Oh
But
man.
no, honestly, it wasn't. I was really happy with my data from the race this weekend, especially like that's what keeps me motivated to keep racing too. Is like I like looking at things like that and where I'm at with it. It could have been a little bit better here and there, but um, it wasn't hot out either. But it's definitely not by far not like my most impressive like data log that I've seen. But still at my age and getting back into it and being hurt this year and basically my second race, like yeah, I was, um, yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm happy and training's there and been having a good time doing a whole lot of stuff. But that I kind of when I rewatch or replay the race in my brain and then oversee my data with it and like how well I was recovering like when the track was easy for me and see those spikes and those valleys and then not a decoupled effort at the end really where it goes your heart rate isn't sustained or obviously it's going up because I'm getting more fatigue but a lot of times guys start here and then it's just a slow trend down because their body can't sustain that effort for very long. So when I see it kind of trending upward, getting fatigued, and still being able to sustain it, like that's what keeps me motivated to keep training and keep racing. Really.
Dang. Yeah, my mother-in-law has worked in the medical field pretty much her whole life, and I was talking about the heart rate data, and she kind of did the same thing. It's like no one could sustain an average of 170, 180 for 3 hours without dying. So I know you had posted some of your old stuff back in the day, and I'd pull it up and be like, look, here it is. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy, especially when you put it into something like ChatGPT to analyze it, and it's like it just goes to show that what you guys are doing isn't human.
Yeah, but if on by cycling standards, I'm not a like big cycling geek, so I could be way off. I don't think it's very common and probably not sustainable. Those guys, it's completely different. We have so much adrenaline and so many outside factors that increase the heart rate. It's it's not a strain on just one overall, just your legs or just your arms. It's your entire body, the strain in general, and then like I said, the adrenaline and everything is what makes the heart rate so high. So um, it's just a strange. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not the best at explaining it, but my numbers, I don't think I could even reach, you know, 187, 190 max like on like cycling. I think I would probably like my legs would blow up around 182, 183 like would be my max. So um and then yeah, my I haven't done an hour effort, like all out effort in a long time. But when a 20-minute FTP test, 5 years ago, the last time I done one, I was at, 270s for 20 minutes and probably, 174 to 6 average for that 20 minutes. And then I was pretty much, blown up. But
Dang. Yeah, that's crazy.
so it's not even close to the numbers that I can put out on the dirt bike.
It's impressive. And I remember when you posted your watch data after Florida years ago, and
That was the crazy one right there.
yeah, that was
I was
wild.
actually like that, yeah, because that was a 180 something average with 190 something max, and like that was I was really young, not really young, but mid 20s. So I don't think I got that effort level right there in me, and I really don't want to put that effort level in because that's a hard one. My data from last year's Florida race was actually really, really impressive for me.
Yeah,
I it was Yeah, it was good. It wasn't near as crazy of numbers as that one particular one, but it wasn't too far off for being 35 and doing as good as I did in the race. Like I managed it really well, stepped it up.
You
But
catch me and Big Tom on the e-bikes, we're 210 Going to the grocery
Yeah.
store, son.
Shit.
Pedal pistons.
Dude, there's some people that, they get over 200 and on the dirt bike. It's pretty wild. I I don't think I ever have. I think the highest I've ever seen mine's like 198 down at Alden's. I think I'd
Nice.
average around 185 to 188 motoing. And then back then when I first started going down there, my body would just blow up and I would pretty much hit the wall on the dirt bike and be ready to pass out when I was like right about 196.
Mm.
And then I'd have to drop it back. Like I would have to literally slow down and like you're disoriented. Like you and nowadays, like me at 190, that's pretty much when my blow up number on the dirt bike anymore. So anything below 190, I can manage and stay like at the same speed, same pace, same effort. But over 190, pretty much hit the wall.
That's
Gee.
nuts.
Yeah, I feel like on a dirt bike, since you have like the power of the bike, it kind of, I don't know if you can kind of push through those zones a little bit quicker and get it higher. Whereas as a bike, you just got to keep putting in power with your legs to keep it going. I think that kind of limits that blow up factor more than on a dirt bike. I don't know why else that would be.
Yeah, I just yeah, when you strain everything, just your legs at once, and if see, my legs can't keep up with my lungs. That's why I can't hit the same kind of numbers. My legs aren't as strong as my heart is basically, is what it is. And where it's complete opposite, like with the pro cyclists, like their legs are up stronger than their lungs. So
Yeah.
for the most part.
Well, dang. Man, I really appreciate you taking the time out to chat with us. Chandler has already messaged me that we're ruining Mexican night for you, so I don't want to take
She
it.
didn't come back. She dropped Crew and I off here with the bag of food I was eating, and she hasn't been back. She went to go pick up the other two. So
Oh, dang. I put a thing up here on YouTube to see if anybody wanted to ask you any questions. So I'll just ask you a couple quick of those. Otherwise, I feel really bad about asking people for questions and ignoring them all.
yeah,
So
go for it.
two part. I guess we can sum it up is a big thing that we talked about, and I know Stu kind of talked about it in depth on here too. The differences between the F and the FX with the Yamahas, and I know that one of the biggest differences is the transmission. Whereas the wide ratio transmission kind of suits a lot of amateur riders a little bit more at the pro speeds. It seems like that's a transmission that's hard to get to work at those speeds. So I guess from your opinion, for like the average everyday guy going out to race at GNCC, what would you recommend between the F and the FX? And then Willie asked how it has been working with Ryan, your mechanic, Ryan Ballou, this year and last year too.
Yeah, it's been good working with Ryan. Him and I grew up not together, but very cordial. And me, him, and Corey and Tyler, Corey's brother, Tyler McDonald, we were all a pretty close knit group of friends when we were 10 to 14ish right in there. And so yeah, it's been good. He's super mellow. Uh, it's it's kind of nice to have somebody that's kind of like even keel. Uh, so yeah, it's been really good, and we haven't had any bike issues or anything. The bike's been pretty solid for the most part. Most of the time, the only bike issue is just me falling down and breaking the damn thing. But um,
That's because it's a Yamaha. What else?
yeah, you can ask him how many front brake lines. For some reason, I the master at smashing brake lines somehow. But that and handguards.
That's
Amen.
that was a
But
problem on KTM's too.
yeah, but my biggest thing with the handguards is I run the plastic mounts that are pretty brittle because I don't want to fall and take a chance at bending the hand, like the lever, the guard lever over top of the lever to where I
Hmm.
couldn't use the clutch or the brake.
Oh yeah.
I would rather to fall down and the thing pop off because I don't really need them anyways. Um, that's kind of my take on it. So I'm perfectly fine when they snap off and don't bend anything up. The transmission though from the FX to the F, yeah, it's a really big difference, and definitely for a very, I would say, high level rider, it suits me it suits me better. And probably there's probably a vast majority of the A riders that would like that platform too. Just used to being able to carry a taller gear. Second's definitely longer. I think third on is the same. If I could be wrong, don't quote me. It feels kind of the same, but it's been a hot minute since I've ridden the FX, since I've got on the F. But first and second gear are definitely taller, and on the FX model, and I like the longer ratio. Well, I'm gonna state this in a way that's very misinterpreted, but second gear doesn't quite feel as snappy as the FX or it feels more snappy on the FX than it does the F. Second gear actually pulls longer on the F than it does the FX. The FX is a taller ratio, so it'd be more like it's closer to first gear than third gear, if that makes sense. So, and obviously in the woods, second and third gear on a 250 are very important, and it just suits how I want to feel the torque of the motor and create the chassis to feel as well. Because the transmission has a major effect on how the chassis feels underneath of you too. So,
Right. See, this is in-depth knowledge. Where else can you get this at? No, man, it's cool, and it's cool to see you back out at the races. I think my brain has finally processed the whole Yamaha thing now. Now, when I see you in blue with the 557, feels right at home.
yeah, it doesn't not make sense anymore.
Yeah, it was a little bit strange at first, but coming
Yeah,
around to
no,
it.
it was
But
for me too, for sure.
But now, even better, seeing you back up on the podium, man, and a solid ride on the weekend, and what that does for the confidence and stuff going forward, and looking forward to the rest of this year and whatever you may decide down the road. But it's cool to see you back up on the box and back contending for those race wins. And yeah, really appreciate you coming on here to chat with us about it all.
Yeah, thanks for having me. No, I definitely didn't seem like there was a lot going on this weekend until the last lap and right at the finish. Honestly, I didn't even know what the hell they were talking about when they crossed the line. Me and Craig had our own little battle. My tire fell apart, and I was doing the best I could to hold Craig off coming into the finish, and then I get in waiting on the podium. I'm like, oh, they're not even ready for the podium. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, why's XC2 going up?
Yeah. So no, but yeah, after I heard everything, I was like, yeah, this could all have been avoided easily. But
So you knew exactly
no,
the line that they were talking about?
yeah, once somebody told me they had me on video doing it too, I was like, oh, okay. It's like I know what you're talking about, because what really kind of frustrates me about that whole situation is, like, I don't know if that was after they fixed the ribbon back to the nearest tree, or if it was still laying on the ground. I don't know who, but it's like, if you're gonna stand there and video to entrap somebody, why don't you just do the right damn thing and put the ribbon back up yourself? That way you don't have to video anybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Or worry about
I mean,
setting anything up.
yeah, that would be kind of the moral code that should have been taken in my eyes. But like I said, I don't know if that was when they were videoing, if the string was already up and they just wanted to confirm that everybody was taking a legal line. I don't know. Look, you could talk about that for days, and you know a lot of things for days, and beat it into the ground. But yeah, in the heat of the moment, and Stu came in, I was all pissed off. I can see both sides of the entire thing, and yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like I said, passion mixed with emotions, and you're gonna get fireworks. So
Especially
that's
out
what
of
it
Stu.
is.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been disappointed too, obviously, if I was in that same sort of position. Um, but yeah, it is what it is, and we'll all move on and grow up. I'm just happy that I was close to that fight for the win this weekend, and I want to keep trying to build off this momentum and be in the fight more often and start winning these things again. That's we're close. We're getting there. I'm chomping at the bit. I'll appreciate a better start out of myself and make life a little bit easier. So we'll try again in 2 weeks.
Well, good deal. We're looking forward to it, and hopefully Lane will be back out at that one with a pair of scissors or a pocket knife ready to open that thing up a little bit for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, everyone, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks again a ton for the time, and we'll see you in a couple weeks at Powerline Park.
Sounds good. See ya.
All right, appreciate it. Here we go. Kailub Russell with a surprise drop in and chatting with us. It's really cool. He is also another guy that will always speak his mind and speak out, but he does it in a different way. But it's his way, and it's like the resume that comes behind everything that he's saying, I think stands out or sets it apart. What he has to say about these topics. So it was kind of cool to get that perspective from him. As we're talking about all that stuff, and I was kind of afraid to go real heavy into it, but like he opened right up. He told us all about it and what his opinion was, and cool to get that insight, and cool of him to let us know that he got home and got his phone charged and joined us on the show.
Yeah, and I think that's we kind of touched on it about him being happier and more enjoyable, but like I think he's kind of opened up with opinions and. I mean, I think that was one of the, because he's been on the podcast multiple times. I think that was one of the better interviews that he's done on here, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just kind of open up, say what he says, and like you said, when Kailub talks, people listen. I mean, just looking at the YouTube, I mean,
blew up.
A lot of questions and comments in there for Kailub, and sorry we didn't get to them all.
We're pushing it to late tonight, boy. We got some other stuff that I really wanted to talk about. We'll have to talk about it next week on the show.
Yeah.
We're about to miss Taco Tuesday over here, boys.
It is. We
We
want
were
to
mid-interview
2.5 hour
ordering.
Hey, we want to enjoy Cinco de Mayo too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So that leaves some more stuff to talk about on next week's show. This weekend, I think that the J Day at Lake Sugar Tree is going on. Some other stuff going on that I can't think of at the moment.
Probably
Next week, we'll get on here and talk about whatever racing was going on this weekend. We'll look forward to the Powerline Park GNCC. We got some more controversy from this past weekend that we need to bring up and talk about. We'll save that one so that way tempers can flare on a short basis and people can come yell at me in the pits next weekend.
We had a tour this weekend, so if
They
anyone
might.
sees me,
Oh,
come
yeah.
over here and say hi,
Tour going
hang
on.
out. My buddy Ryan Lasher bailed on me, so I'll be lone wolf. Holler.
flying solo in your new
Solo.
plane.
Old plane.
No, old new plane.
Not a new one. Nope.
Crap, there was something else I wanted to follow up
Damn,
with
we
on
didn't-
Kailub, but what
We
you
didn't-
talked
We
about.
didn't get only planes in this week. We hungry.
There's a lot to cover on this one. Crap, there was one more thing that you said something about Kailub that made me want to follow up on it, but now I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's because you need a taco.
Could be. I haven't eaten in a while. Crap. It was something important, something relevant.
Well, when you think about it, put it in the notes, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. Anyway, it was really cool for Kailub to take time out and to come chat. Oh, I think it was just like his mindset, his happiness, and how happy he is. And like, I never thought, like, I've obviously known Kailub for quite a long time, and never thought I'd see the day that one, he's so openly happy about a third and being in contention for the win. Like, never thought I'd see that. But then also, like, him talking about, we mentioned earlier about kind of Ashburn's rise as he gets older. Like, he's getting better as he gets older. And then for Kailub to compare himself to Ashburn and talk about how they've been riding together and that he's still on Ashburn's level.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. Where for how many years was Kailub leaps and bounds ahead of Ashburn?
ahead of everybody.
Yeah,
But yeah, I guess just to have the, I don't want to say humility, but like just he took
humbleness.
he took 5 years off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 4 years off, an entire presidential term off, and to come back and kind of be working towards it and plucking away at it and still having fun, still having that drive, and still wanting to do better. Like he's not mailing this in and trying to soak up this Yamaha deal. He's working his way back into being a championship contender. And that's why I kind of wanted to ask about him missing a couple races there. And But, I mean, anything could happen. You never know. We've seen crazier stuff. He's still got 56 points, 54 points, something in there. You never know what could happen. But either way, cool to see him back on there, get the confidence going, got the bike working for him again. And, yeah. Want to say thank you to everyone that joined us and listened with us tonight from the live numbers. This is, I think, the most ever throughout the show. If anybody is going to go snitch on me or try to start drama where there shouldn't be drama, make sure you give them the full context of the show, or at least send them this part to say if you're mad at something I said, listen to the whole conversation, not just what someone told you about it. No.
Eat a bag of dicks.
Try to do the best we can to be as fair and honest as possible. So hopefully that doesn't get lost in translation, and you guys can appreciate that to at least some degree. That's all I ask for. This is a really tough position to be in. I got to be friends with all these guys. I am friends with all these guys and girls. Sorry, getting thrown off.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's tough because, like I said, I got so much respect for Ashburn. Most of my livelihood depends on Stu, and I got such a relationship with him. So it's like when stuff like this happens, I don't want to get in the. I don't like getting in the middle of it. I hate talking about this, especially because our little sport.
There's little.
This is the source of the information. So it's like we got to get on here and talk about it and address the things that are going on and try to do it as tactfully as possible. And, yeah, just a ton of respect for everybody and the sport as a whole. And that's why we're still around covering it 10 years later. So thanks to each and every single one of you that have listened to OTP over the years that tuned in for tonight's show, or you're listening to this after the fact. We appreciate it. We appreciate Kailub stopping by. Appreciate Craig and Tom stopping by, being here as well. Don't forget to hit up Zach Tussle with Tussle Investments. Just had a sit-down meeting with him last week to get everything dialed in and squared away. Let him know you listen to OTP, get a free consultation, see how he can help you out. Financial advisor with Raymond James. Helps out a lot of people in the industry as well. Yeah, shop RockyMountainATVMC.com using our link. And once again, big shout out to Yamaha. Thank you for letting me come ride a Grizzly. I'm still feeling it 4 days later, 3 days later, whatever it is, but had fun nonetheless. And appreciate them for being a part of the program. And our Blue Crew teammate, Kailub Russell, coming on and chatting with us. That's going to do it for us. We got some juicy stuff next. The one thing, I did want to get to this, but we can't get it till next week. Sorry about it. But thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week on the Pipe Podcast.